that is helping unite businesses all across the planet during the Black Business Expo USA. Here's a word from the CEO of the Black Business Expo, none other than Dr. Eric Kelly.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Kelly III, and I'd like to invite you to the Black Business Olympics. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in the world. It gives your company an opportunity to showcase, to market, to advertise your products and services worldwide. And for those who would like to speak or be a vendor, corporation or company, I implore you to give us a call at 919-308-9090 or go to our website, www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. My genius is understanding your vision and utilizing your vision to help you earn a profit.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support black businesses? I support black business because I am black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am black business. I am black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am black business. I am black business. Are you black business? I am black business. Do you support black businesses? I support black business because I am black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am black business. I am black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am black business. I am black business. Are you black business? I am business. Do you support black businesses? I support black business because I am black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am black business. I am black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am black business. I am black business. Are you black business?
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, proved that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why Be Direct was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to Be Direct's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business life cycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, Be Direct Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and a commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African continental and country specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental based facilitators. But even more unique to Be Direct Prep, We cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
Why do I do what I do? You know, my life coach asked me that a few years ago. And she said, Tony, what's your why? And I told her, and she said, girl, you've already accomplished that. Perhaps you need a new why.
Hi, Tony Harris, Amy Hoydu with Say It Said Marketing, one of your students. And just wanted to say thank you, Tony Harris, for spending so much time with me and giving me that boost in my business that I so drastically needed.
My why is to touch, move, and inspire my clients to take drastic steps to be better than they were before they met me. I'm a resource. I'm a connector. I want to help people build deeper relationships that are beneficial to their life and business. That's what I do best.
So, first thing you got to do is show up. And speaking is a way to magnetically attract your ideal client to you. How many of you use social media that way? Absolutely, and this is how you look to the world. Drastic steps are the steps that are needed to be successful. And my business is drastic denotes a mindset. Getting out of your comfort zone. Doing something that you don't necessarily feel comfortable doing, want to do, but you know it's a necessary step to be successful in your business.
I get the most satisfaction when I see my connections flourishing into relationships long after I am gone.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Augustine with Media Jasmine, and I've joined several networking and referral groups in the area. And Network in Action Northeast Houston with Tony Harris Taylor is one of the best organizations that I've joined.
I love that piece of what I do, and it is what fuels my fire. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow.
Phenomenal Tanya T. Wise, who is here from the great state of Maryland. Tanya, welcome and thank you for being with us today. Can you indulge our audience a little bit and tell them just a little bit more about who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, I love being able to talk to people and have a magnetic attitude, being able to just show them. So I always like to say, level up is Coach at Tanya T. Wise here.
So can you tell our audience, just give them a teaser about what your presentation will be about?
So my philosophy is that we should all be living our dream life. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you start living your dream life. What are some of the things that you thought about in your childhood that you just kind of let go and dormant?
Wow.
And I want to reignite that and just give you some pointers and some tips, some tools, some strategies to be able to start living your best life now. And guess what, Wanda? And leave an inheritance for your legacy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I know that's resonating with a lot of people. I've heard that you have a dynamic coaching program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools, we help them implement strategies, as well as give them resources so that they can live their best life now and leave that inheritance.
Wow. Oh, I love that. I love the leave the inheritance part. Listen, you are dropping some major nuggets, and I know a lot of what you're saying is resonating with a lot of people, but I think we're all curious. How did you even make this transition into the speaking and coaching arena? What's the story behind this?
So I started out in finance, and I realized that a lot of people don't necessarily go after their dream life because of the lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it.
If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that?
Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Wise.
Prepare for what's coming and dominate in economic winter. Stand strong and thrive by showcasing your great products and services globally through the Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo. One of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Dr. Tanya T. Wise, and I am the CEO of All New Beginning. I am your business moderator for this afternoon Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Today, we have a keynote speaker, Coach Kimberly. Coach Kimberly Williams is an international leadership strategist, thought leader. As a coach, she's developed and have staff that inherits and retention rate, a long life student of the Kingdom of God, principle of business, has coincided with her. As an organization of heaven, she uses emotional intelligence and mission mapping to curate results that gloss increase your earnings. Her life passion is potentially aligned and organize your mission statements and process to equip your company with the tools that keep you at the front of the line in your niche. Help me welcome to the stage, Coach Kim.
And good afternoon to you, Dr. T. Wise. How are you today?
I'm amazing, getting better every day in every way. Thank you for asking. How about yourself, Coach?
I am doing very great. I'm wonderful. I'm excited to be here with you all this afternoon. So I can't wait to get started.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn this wonderful stage over to you, Coach Kim, because genius is coming and I'll see you on the other side.
Awesome. So good afternoon, everyone. As she stated, I am Coach Kimberly Williams. I am an emotional intelligence coach. I use emotional intelligence and leadership development to develop you and your business in a way that causes you to conquer and stand in authority in your niche. I'm very excited to be before you this afternoon because I have some exciting things that I want to talk to you about today in reference to emotional intelligence, how it helps you to get into business, run your business, and then also to stay in business. Before I get into all of that, I first want to honor Dr. Eric Kelly III and the Black Business Network for having this platform and this organization that helps to build young entrepreneurs and students alike, those who are trying to jump into a space where they are taking authority and ownership over their genius. And so to be able to partner with them and give opportunity to these young people by way of donations so that they can either get scholarships to school or laptops is a phenomenal task that I am willing to take on at any time my schedule allows. And here I am before you today on this great Monday morning, the first day of the Black Business Olympics. And I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to you about business intelligence. This is my jam. And I just want to give an introduction to about just who I am and what I do. So for maybe about 15 years now, I have been working with nonprofits and private entities in reference to fund development. One of the things that I realized in fund development is that it is a people's game, right? It is a network game. And so you take those who have either spent time within your organization or knows about your brand and business, and you give them an incentive to have buy-in to financially support all of the missions work that you're doing. So there is reports that needs to be done. There is communication nonstop that has to happen. And beyond the networking, beyond the communication, there has to be a bridge between their business and what they are doing and your why. And it's hard sometimes to articulate what the why is and why people should support you when you lack emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the way that you perceive your emotions and the emotions of the person in which you're speaking to. You then use those emotions in a way to leverage the conversation. So not only can you be heard, but you can make it known that you hear them as well, and you all can move to the next phase of the conversation. It is a catalyst that assists you in conflict resolution. It assists you in your business intelligence, and it helps you to strategize in ways that gives you an opportunity to have a successor for your Black-owned business. And so I love having these conversations in this space because I have worked with Black businesses for about, like I said, 15 years. I have seen in the boardroom, outside of the boardroom, in the council meetings, in places where we are trying to gather grant funding and just talking to other sponsors. I have seen opportunities be tanked for the lack of emotional intelligence. And so instead of being the forefront person and being the person who goes and has these conversations with other businesses and other entities within the community, I decided that this is a business. Having emotional intelligence, being a developer of leaders, and being able to ignite them in a way to move forward and move their needle forward and sustain their business, that is its own business. And so therefore I developed Perspective 360. And Perspective 360 is my business. You can find me on all social platforms as Perspective 360. However, what's important about Perspective 360 is the fact that it's 360 degrees. So the reason it's 360 is because the way that you are going in your own business, in the ideas that you have, in your vision for your business is not incorrect. It's the right way. The problem is the perspective and that causes you to take the wrong steps. And so I want to turn you around 360 degrees so that it can shift your perspective. You can see things from a different perspective, a different angle, and then it will cause you to walk worthy of the call that is on your life or on your business and or on your brand. You have not been given this idea. You have not been given this development in order for it to fall or falter. You have been given it so that it may flourish and so that it may multiply. And I am the igniter to get it to do just that. And so without further ado, let me tell you, I've created this program and I love it because it assists not only those that are in business, but it also assists young people, or it supports their ability to grow forward within their educational careers. So it's called The Long Game. Everybody knows me as the Long Game Coach. And the reason why it's the long game is because it's not a necessity that you get it right away. It's the gradual shifts that happen as you turn. And we look at the various ways that your life, your environment, and your vision dictate the way that you see what you are doing and what other people are doing. And did you know that your environment dictates how you relate to people, even in business? Do you have an understanding that the way that you answer questions, the way that you hear questions, all pertains to your emotional intelligence? Something that I teach within the long game is that there are 34 different listening styles. That means that if there were 34 people in one room and I began to speak, they could all possibly hear me in different ways. And I could be obviously using the same words, the same verbiage. Yet, because of their nurtured and natured manners, they hear in a different way. And so it's important as a CEO and or a leader within your community and your business niche that you learn how to speak to the hearing of the person in which you are working or communicating with. And those are the things that I teach you in the long game. And so it's a 12-week program, you guys, and it just takes you from just the self-awareness piece of emotional intelligence all the way to the application, and being able to then shift your perceptions of the things that people say, even if they say something that may seem to knock you off your rocker. You don't take it personally. And that to me is the golden ticket to emotional intelligence. Not taking things personally, because nothing's personal. It is all business. All right, so let's get into it, because what I realized as I was moving forward and just developing the ideal of Perspective 360 was, one, I was an answer to a problem that I saw not only in my community of nonprofits and just community boots on the ground work, but I saw this in my alma mater. I saw this in the way that these businesses were functioning with their alumni. I saw this with the way that leadership were developing relationships. And when I continued to see the same issue repetitively over a large amount of types of industries, I decided it's time for me to get into the world and do something about it. I knew that the way that I thought, the way that I processed, and the way that I went about life seemed to be odd and one of one. And I didn't understand what the difference was with me, that when I dealt with a tragic situation, or when I dealt with an situation that is common in our community, how my response to it was different. How I could always find the solution no matter what was going on. How I would remain calm. I need to remain calm. I need to listen. I need to pay attention to all that was happening, then to play back the things that I heard and saw prior to the situation, in order to gain a perspective of a solution, so that we can move the needle forward. Because life is all about progress. It's all about growth. It is all about development. And so when I realized that I had this thing that was separate from other people, I said, okay, I set out after listening to Dr. Miles Monroe and him talking about how, the most wealthiest place on the earth is the graveyard, because most people's visions and dreams, they are dormant within them, because they stay right there in that body, and that person dies, and so it's buried with them. When I heard that, what that did to me was to say, how do I get from behind this desk? How do I get from meeting all of these corporate people for the sake of another business to begin a business of my own? How do I write a curriculum that establishes the 12 core principles of emotional intelligence? How do I take a specific niche like emotional intelligence or leadership development, who has a leader that has coined this thing as his own, and realize and take it to our community and say, no, the way that we flow and function within our emotional intelligence is a lot different than any other community. And it is important for us to have our own curriculum and have our own mind shift, so that we can work internationally, we can work intercontinentally, because we understand and respect the differences, and we realize the differences in the communication. And again, we don't take it personally. So my goal has been to set out to talk to the CEO, to talk to the CFO, and to talk to the entrepreneur about how you sustain your business. And we get directly to the matter. And I love it because I get an opportunity to look at the policies of the business, take the opportunity to not only to see the policies, but ask the good questions like, why is this your policy? Have you considered this? What are the numbers like based on this policy? When I see a company have a consistent revolving door, that sparks my interest. When I see a company who is losing revenue, right, I become excited about the opportunity to assist them in the areas where they can build their revenue and build a stronger foundation. Because not only is the foundation strong, but the foundation is only as strong as the pillars that support it. And I don't know if you've ever watched a construction site when it is just first leveling out the field or the acres of land that it's going to be on. But you have to understand how far and how deep they dig in order to place pillars in that ground. And the higher up they want that building, the further down they dig. So if it is your business who is looking to soar and reach six figures times 10, right? Then you have to dig deep and do that work that causes for your development of yourself, the development of your policies, the development of your curriculum, or the way that your systems in your business run are, one, strategic to the outcome, two, that they are having staying power for not only your business to thrive, but also for your employees to thrive. And then number 3, so that not only as you are scaling can you survive, but then also you can create a successor within your business and the business niche. Because what good is it if the business stops with you? What good is it if the business no longer flourishes because you are in a situation where you've had an emergency? I have a lot of financial developer friends, and a lot of the conversations that they have with people who are in a successor type of industry is about a legacy. And a legacy is only as capable or culpable as the extent in which it goes. You don't want your Black-owned business to stop with you because you failed to train up one who can do exactly what you do. And so when we have ego in the way, when we are not self-aware, when we have pride in the way, we tend to forget how important it is to raise up someone else so that they can continue what we've left behind. And then is what we are leaving behind packaged in a way that someone else will want to carry this forward? Is it attractive? Is your branding attractive? Is your reputation as a business attractive? Are your business dealings across your industry attractive? Do other people want to work with you? Have you left a trail of employees behind because they just couldn't fit in your business module? Or are you going to leave a legacy and a successor that can thrive within your industry? So all of this is being taught within the long game. And so I want to just give you a little bit of education because I like to, 1, just tell you what I do so that you have an understanding. 2, tell you why I do what I do, because I think people like to get to know who it is that they're speaking with. And then number 3, tell you how what I do is effective within your industry. Now it's time for the educational piece. I don't know how many of you, like I said, have seen that construction site and you have any awareness of the construction industry and how far they have to dig just to put these pillars within a building. But I want you to liken yourself as a pillar today. Yes, you are a pillar. And because you are a pillar, that means that what rests on you holds up everything that you have built and you've created. You've had many people helping you build level to level, window to wall, floor to ceiling, painting on the walls, even to the decorations. Someone has added their genius to your build. And because they've added their genius to your build, you have to understand that not only are they important, but they are vital. And so when someone is vital, how do you treat them? How do they feel about experiencing you? And so this is where I want to start the conversation, because an emotional aftertaste is a real thing. When someone thinks about Coach Kimberly Williams, before I became coach, right? I was just a high school student. I was just a college student. I was just a military soldier. And then I was a wife, right? All of these titles. But what would they say about me? Having that I traveled from that place into this newness. What is the emotional aftertaste? My high school friends that I had then, who are not my friend now because life changes and growth and moving across the country, all the things, right? If you were to question them, or if I were to run into them today, and I'd ask, what do they think about me? Or what is your opinion of spending time with Kimberly? They would tell you Kimberly always tells the truth. You can bet your bottom dollar she is going to tell you exactly whatever the truth is, no matter what the question is that you ask. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because that has multiplied all throughout my life. And so the aftertaste that I leave with people is, I'm going to tell you like it is. I don't have to do it in a nasty way, but I'm just honest. I just happen to be an honest person. And so I always tell the truth. And so in my telling of the truth, I cause people to be able to reflect on their true selves. I cause people to be able to pull themselves from wherever they are into the place that they say that they want to be. And so whether that is even a friend, a peer, a family member, or I'm working with a CEO, it's always the truth. I'll always be honest and say, there is a niche conversation that happens about emotional intelligence in terms of the 5 pillars that they talk about: self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, social awareness, and motivation, right? All of those things. However, what about you? What causes you to make the decisions that you're making? Tell me what you're thinking this is going to yield. Let's look at what your vision is. Because if we look at what you are seeing, then we can look at the steps you're taking to see if those steps are actually going to grant you that which you think it's going to grant you. I've been able to have an opportunity to talk a lot with Dr. Eric Kelly III. And I love it because when I had issues with my business and the direction I wanted to go in, I was doing this coaching program. And to me, and I mean this in a very respectful manner when I say it, I was doing it on a low level. I was doing it on a level where I was reaching individuals, and individuals need my assistance. But what I am created for is for the corporate and the business intelligence. And so I needed to find out, how do I translate what I am doing to a business setting and in a business module? When I talked and heard strategy from Dr. Eric Kelly III, it assisted me in the way that I was able to shift my perspective. Because it wasn't what I was saying, it wasn't what I was doing, it was the steps that I was taking, because it was not aligning with what my true vision is. And so once I began to start to work with these different entities that I do work with, it shifted my perspective when I would see other business coaches going after the individual. I don't like individual coaching. I can talk to you about your individual, situations as needed. However, where I thrive is in that corporate setting. I love watching the fruit of a business shift, because now you can tangibly see your revenue growing. You can see your earned income increasing, your personnel developing their own personal leadership styles and then becoming leaders within your organization. You can see your sponsorships and or your partnerships growing tangibly. Those are the things that I love and I thrive on. And so I needed my perspective shifted. And so I had to have a conversation with someone who was willing to just be honest and say, and even though he'll smile when he says it, he's just an honest person. And sometimes his honesty comes out and it's abrupt because you don't expect it. But if you're honest and you're self-aware, right? If you're earnest about where you're going, you reflect on what he says and you grow and you blossom. And so I wanted to give that example of Dr. Eric Kelly III because, one, you probably already know him, and two, I wanted you to get a picture of a person who is honest, who just tells the truth in a way that causes you to sink or swim. And I remember, I want to tell you guys a story really quickly. I was in basic training, and we had a run that we were doing within a field mission. And on this run, we have about 50 pounds of gear on us, plus our weapon. Our weapons are not small. And we are on this trek. And I remember we were running through so that we can get to another space within this this forest or wooded area that we were in. And I fell when I ran. And the cap of my knee landed on a flat rock that was embedded in the ground. And it hurt me so bad because it was just a flat surface hitting my kneecap. And I paused and a tear would come into my eyes, and my drill sergeant said, "Do you want to cry or do you want to live?" And so I jumped up and I said, "I want to live." And I began to run as fast as I could to catch up with my team and to survive the training module that we were in. Afterward, when we got back to our barracks and I looked at my knee, it was swollen and it was genuinely hurt. But what I learned in that moment is no matter, you get to choose how you respond. And though our bodies have an innate response to something, right? So there's innate reactions that occur. When you are self-aware and you have control of yourself, you tell you what you're going to do and how you're going to respond. And so I decided in that moment that I was going to get up and I was going to live. And that the weight of that rucksack and that weapon and that pain of that knee meant nothing because my vision was to live. And so even though when someone else may hear that, they'd be like, "Oh my goodness, they didn't help you up," or you understand what I mean? Like people would perceive that there was another way or a more gentle way that things could happen. However, what was said in that moment was what I needed to spark my ability to adapt and be in control. And so there is a need when you are talking about something that you own, something that you have built and you have worked for and you have put all your finances into, and you don't want to see it sink. And so this is not the time, or this is not the conversation that's going to play a violin for you. I will not paint a picture for you that is all pretty and neat. I'm going to call it like I see it so that you can see it, say it, and live from that moment forward. Because I need you to know that this situation is either going to sink your business or it's going to cause your business to thrive and flourish. Which one do you want? Of course, we all want our business to thrive and flourish, but are we willing to get up with tears in our eyes, the weight is still on us, and run forward? Are you willing to say that I must need to shift my policies in this season? I think there's something wrong with the pressure I'm putting on my staff, and it's causing them to leave. It's probably the way that I am communicating what my vision is. Let me study so that I can learn a better communication skill and then apply that skill to the way that I am communicating with the potential clients, partners, and my staff. So when we have a clear and a convicted vision, then is when we'll thrive. And so I want to pivot just a little bit because there are two different manners in which you can thrive. And so I don't want you to think that I am this person who thinks that every person that's thriving is doing so in a legit legal way. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because, yes, sometimes you see people thriving, but you don't know what they've done to get to that position. Or you see people who are unwilling to take your advice because they're taking the advice of someone who is teaching them how to cut corners. And so then how do you shift that mentality so that they can make the decision, because it's a self-reflective situation. So it's on you. No one can make you drink the water. So how do you help them to support them in seeing the necessity of a shift when they are financially thriving? It doesn't matter that they're standing on people to climb up this ladder. To them, it doesn't matter that they have to what they're doing, to get it, like whether it's working 80 hours a week or they're cutting ties with people who've known them all their life. Whatever the thing is, to them, that isn't what's important. What's important is the outcome. So how do we become integral in our outcome and vision chasing versus just outsourcing our integrity so that we can thrive, get to the point of a fulfilled vision, right? Just meeting another goal on our vision board. How do we do that? What do we do? Is this even important? And why? So as we are continuing to grow in a market or in a space in our market that is what I'll call a intercontinental market, right? We will, and not only in this on this continent, but in all other continents in which we would do business, especially in the world of business development. You will start to understand that people's ethics and the way that they operate within their business is derived from their nature or their nurture. And so you have to then learn the culture of that person, the culture of that climate, in order then to assist them and just building or dropping seeds of integrity. And I need you to understand that we have an innate need to be successful and integral, innately. It's by our nature. And so when you speak to the nature of a person, when you speak to the nature of the thing that they are building, right? It's kind of like the building that was built on sand, the one that was built on grass or straw or hay, and then the one that was built on a firm foundation, a rock, right? And so you help them to be aware of the sustainability of the success of that thing. Because again, who wants to take a non-integral business into their future when they've watched you be unscrupulous with your business handlings? No one. And therefore, we want to, because we want to leave a success story, because our legacy needs to be built upon, because we want to give this to someone else to carry it forward, then we do things and we handle things in a way where they don't have to pay our debts financially, integrally, or with their ability to create cross communications and cross partnerships across nations. And therefore, because we are long game thinkers, then we handle the situations in front of us in a way that says that our players that are coming behind us are going to be able to have to wear the same number one day. They're going to have to put this jersey on their back too. And when they are putting this jersey on their back, we want them to be proud of it. We want them to honor it like we honored it. We want this thing to be intentional. And therefore, when you have the communication in that way, when you start to open up the eyes of the CEO or the business owner in this way, or even the entrepreneur, it helps them to understand you don't want to have to create a new hustle every 5 years or every 10 years. Have longevity, be sustainable, be self-reliant, and be able to multiply that which you do in a way where you can grow your Black-owned business. So I heard that there was a need for us to grow intercontinentally. How then do we grow intercontinentally when we don't speak their language? This is where emotional intelligence kicks in. You have to be self-aware to know what you don't know. And then you have to know where to seek that information. So learn, grow, and thrive by educating yourself on what's new within your industry, where it's going in the industry, because other countries are projecting all the way to 2040. And here we are just trying to get to the new year. We're going quarter by quarter instead of year by year, or every 2 years by every 2 years. So shift your perspective, begin to think like a corporation, because you are a corporation. Corporations don't move quarterly, they move yearly. And their fiscal years they branch 2 years together intentionally so that they can track their progression. So I want you to get out of the habit of small or low level goal casting, low level stretching out, low level intelligence when it comes to your business. You have to start to strategize for the next 3 years today. Start to strategize and what you would like it to look like, and the partnerships you would like to have in the next 5 years today. Why? Because you want a sustainable business. You want a business not only that thrives, but you want employees that can grow and see themselves owning a franchise of what you have built and what you have developed. Yes, it can remain Black owned. Yes, you can have particulars when it comes to whom you'd like to carry on your legacy and your name. Yes, you can. But I want for you to thrive in our new economy that is coming, and I want for you to grow in your Black business. So Perspective 360 is a firm that teaches emotional intelligence and leadership development. We use the avenue of emotional intelligence to help you communicate effectively, to take on a personal leadership mentality, and to have cross intergenerational and intercontinental communications so that your business can thrive. I love to say we get directly to the matter. And the reason that is because we don't have time to try to combat with low-level industries. We want to thrive in a place where we can win and where we can continue to go forward in the way that God intends for us to go forward, because that's why He gave us the vision in the beginning. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be before you today. You can find me on Facebook at Perspective 360, Kingdom Principles for Your Business. You can find me on Instagram at Perspective 360. My website is coachwithkim.org. And I want for you to find me so that we can get together. If you have a thriving business, if you have staff in which you want to shift their perspective 360, or if you feel as though your perspective needs to shift, I'll come in. I can do trainings. I've done retreats, and I enjoy doing trainings with people, especially the exec levels, because it helps them to thrive in a way where they can sustain their business for the long haul. So Perspective 360 on Instagram and with Kim.org.
Awesome job, Coach Kimberly. I mean, you brought it. I know people took copious notes. Can you tell them one more time the best way to contact you?
Absolutely. So it's coachwithkim.org is my website, coachwithkim1m.org. And you can find me on Instagram at Perspective 360.
Awesome. Awesome job, Coach Kim. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side. Black Business Expo mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. The expo is a fundraiser for students who may go to www.blackexpousa.com. You may donate to the scholarship fund or use Cash App, and that would be $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops up to $5,000 to 10 students. And students may also register at www.blackbusinessexpo.usa. Again, that's www.blackbusinessexpo.usa.com. Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsor for August 2023. And that is NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Ruche Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation, Inc., Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Milani Shanae Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studio, Lee Entertainment, Artistry App Design, All New Beginnings LLC, and Black Business Expo USA. Genius is Common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Genius is common, and my genius is nutritional strategy. I am Shawnee Smith, the owner and creator of Can Do Spice. Can Do Spice was created because I knew that adding herbal and mineral supplements to my diet did not have to be boring. In fact, because I'm a food enthusiast, I knew I could create something flavorful and explosive that also had the benefit of adding herbal supplements such as sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root, and black seed, just to name a few. I invite you to take this journey with me where we come together and take control of our nutritional health. It is my way of sharing my genius, the gift of flavor and the healing power of herbs to the world. What is your genius?
Hello, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And my genius is helping women accelerate the path to success. You know, I was blessed to have strong women in my life who encouraged, motivated, and pushed me to do my best and to never even think about giving up on my dreams. So I say to women, we must show up to rise up. We have talents and potential, but who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? I know that women are a tremendous resource on this planet, and there is nothing more fulfilling than helping a woman tap into her full potential. I do this because I want to be a part of helping as many women as I can to show up, to rise up. I do this because genius is common.
I'm Kennedy Harris. My genius is being an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of K-Lock, a company where I develop my very own line of kids supplements. I currently market my multivitamin for kids to help combat weak immunity. During the pandemic, research has shown that having a strong immune system is key to fighting off disease. My vitamins are for kids, but adults can benefit from them as well. I'm adding a proprietary blend to my supplement line. I want to create my own blend so that I have a competitive edge in the marketplace. Staying healthy is important to me so that we live longer and have healthier lives. My website is klockproducts.com. That is K-L-O-C-K. Genius is common.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today.
How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know? A student, a business entrepreneur? Or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? that business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dreams by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be losers, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of Black business in the history of the world.
Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneur, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Dr. Tanya T. Wise, and I am the founder and CEO of All New Beginning. I am your business moderator for this afternoon show on Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. This afternoon, our next keynote speaker is Alan Thornton. Our speaker is going to teach us how to accelerate our onboarding process, reduce prospecting efforts by 80%, expedite dealing closings by 2 times, achieving prestigious forecasting, and boosting our profit margin by 20 to 50%. He is passionate about driving revenue, building winning sales teams, and despite if you hate wasting time researching for your ideal client, his solution is tailor-made for you. Help me welcome to the stage, Alan Thornton.
How you doing today?
I'm amazing, Alan, getting better every day in every way. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm gonna borrow some of that energy and insert it into this session. I love it. Thank you for the introduction.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get out the way and leave you to the stage because genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate, first and foremost, thank you to the Black Business Network and everybody who gave us the opportunity to be in this great space. For those of you that did not hear that eloquent introduction, my name is Alan Thornton, and I am the founder and CEO of the 40 Acre Conference. Most of you know me as Mr. 40 Acre. You can find both of those on Instagram. And throughout the duration of this presentation, If you would like to, if you like any of the thoughts or the ideas that we share, you can text legacy to 888-111, and you can be a part of the movement that we have created. So a few thoughts and ideas that I did want to share with you. I thank you for the introduction, but the journey has really created the passion that what we've done, because we've seen some of the struggles that we have harnessed. It didn't necessarily have to be that way, right? If there was people that could have handed some of that game down to us at an earlier time, we would not have had to go through some of the trials, the tribulations, and the obstacles that we found out a way to turn them into opportunities through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, like you have heard. So a few things that I want to go over. One is just something that I did not create, but has made us, we have created a lot of notoriety, a lot of press from manifestation. So we'll talk a little bit about manifestation. Want to talk a little bit about coaching, because there's been some coaches and some mentoring along the way that have given us some incredible things and launched and propelled us to where we are today. And then want to talk about some futuristic principles, specifically with software and new things that are going on with AI, and taking all those to increase revenue and decrease the wealth gap in the Black community specifically, because we're on the Black Business Network. And we just started a new AI company that's going to help do a lot of that with some Fortune 500 companies and around the world, doing not only business to business, but business to consumer. So I'm going to tell you what I just told you. I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to recap for those of you that aren't listening, what I just told you. So first and foremost, manifestation. Manifestation is one of those things that is, since the beginning of time, and one of my favorite speakers, Mr. Les Brown, talks about before anything is achieved in its physical formation, it has to be conceived in a thought or idea in your mind. And that's the first part of that journey. And the culmination of everything, your skill, your luck, your network, comes together to manifest whatever that thought and idea is. Now, if we take the culmination of all of those things and we put some advanced ideas and principles up front when we have the idea, then the manifestation or the execution of that manifestation can come to fruition a lot faster if we put a few principles and things in place. And I've learned that not because I'm incredibly brilliant by any means, is I have gone through a lot of pain. I have gone through a lot of, just like a football game, right? If you see that I played football, played basketball, run track, and one of the things that you do as you go through the ranks of the duration of your season is you watch film, right? That way you can see what happened the last game. You can make adjustments, you can make improvements, and be better not only for yourself, right, which is your biggest opponent, but also the opponent that is in front of you. So once you're able to do that, we've been able to, over the last couple of years, watch a lot of film on ourselves, and not just physical film of being on stage, but also the film and the habits and the ideas that we have put into our mind, and been able to create a way to manifest the things that we actually want. And manifestation goes one or two ways, right? It can go to a place where you actually want it to go, right? That's positive manifestation. But you can also manifest negative thoughts and ideas that'll come to fruition because you're continually putting those negative ideas into your mind. So I'm going to wrap this topic up if you are able, because there's an art and there's a science to manifestation. Harvard Business Review did a study in the 1970s, and this is important. You're like, why are you spending so much time on this? But it's important because you hear a lot of the gurus. One of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich, has 17 chapters that weaves in and out of this in different principles. But Harvard Business Review did a study in the 1970s of 100 different students, right? And they took those 100 students and asked them to write their goals down. 20 years later, they went and caught up with all of those different students. Now, a few of them had passed away, and the majority of them that didn't write their goals, right? 85% of them were still kind of in where they thought they would be without writing down their goals. It's not that people set real high goals and miss them. They set no goals and hit them. And then they found the top about 10 people had a bigger net worth, asset, health, wealth, relationships, family, a greater culmination of overall wealth than the rest of the 90. And why was that? Well, not only they wrote their goals down, but they also had a plan for the execution of them. So they essentially manifested that, right? That thought, that idea that they put down on paper, and then they went after it and ultimately created the reality that was in their head. Now, I say that to say, if we can all do that and be more intentional, I'm not a master, I'm still a student of this, at doing that every single day of how we want our day to be, because Eric Thomas says that your destiny is what you create. And the thing that year that just happened didn't happen over that year, it happened every second. So if you start to plan, right, before you even get into your day and know what's going to happen because you've already thought about it, you wrote it down, and you wrote a plan of execution, that day is going to go a lot better. That week's going to go a lot better. That month is going to go a lot better. That year is going to be the year that you planned for because you manifested and executed it. So that's very important. And I'll tell you, a few years back, we said that we were going to start a conference called the 40 Acre Conference, giving you a real life example of this. And people thought we were absolutely crazy, right? Because we said we're going to put celebrities and government officials, and we're going to give out these awards, and we're going to sponsor 500 kids, and we're going to have influencers there. We're going to have speaker panels, and it had never really been done before. And when I said I was going to do it, I actually went to Black Wall Street. The reason why we call it the 40 Acre Conference, right? And putting this into perspective. The reason why we call it the 40 Acre Conference is due to history. And this goes back to the manifestation of things that are going to actually happen. I saw back in 2020, there was a bunch of corporations that said, look, I saw some bad things happen to the Black community, so I'd like to give $1 million. I'd like to give $5 million. I'd like to give $20 million. And the numbers got ridiculous, all the way to $1 billion, $30 billion. Under less than 7% of that has actually been dispersed. And what that sounded like to me, it sounded like a lot like 40 acres and a mule to me. So a promise to the Black American community that was never fulfilled. So we started the 40 Acre Conference so history wouldn't repeat itself. I'm giving you the whole history on this. And I put the thought and idea, I'm one of those people that are stupid enough to believe that I can change the world. So I put it on paper that I'm going to start the 40 Acre Conference to connect government officials, to connect these corporations to an initiative that they could really disperse their money in a way that aligns with their brand and help them increase their revenue in a place that they're not really at, but also help them fulfill that commitment that they put out in that press release. And I wrote all these things down. And people thought I was crazy. I went to Black Wall Street on the Centennial, and I met a few people. I met a few influencers. I met Rashad. I met Troy. I met Ian. And I met Hill Harper. Some of you know some of those guys as Earn Your Leisure, who now have the largest financial conference in the world. Up to that time, it had never happened. And they talked about in this little room in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll tell you how powerful this moment was. They talked about doing that InvestFest conference that had never been done before. And I said, guess what? I was thinking about doing the same thing called the 40 Acre Conference. And I said, look, you guys have a bigger following. At that time, it's probably like a little over 100,000, but under 200,000. But they still had a really good following. And they said they were going to do it. People told them, hey, don't do it. You know, y'all YouTubers, stay in your lane, just stick to that. They said, no, they're doing it. And I saw it. So one of the biggest things when it comes to belief, right? I heard, and I have children myself, kids don't do what you say, they do what they see. So when people told them not to do it, and then I saw them do it, when people told me not to do our conference, I had already seen it done when they told them don't do it. So I did it, and it was successful, right? Regardless of what people were going to tell me, I knew we were going to be able to make it happen because I saw it happen. Another incredible moment. And if anybody would like to join us on our journey, you can text Legacy to 888-111 and join us for our next 40 Acre Conference. But what I saw also in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and this was such a powerful, this was in 2021, less than 2 years ago. I saw a young lady named Sheila Jackson Lee, who had been in Congress for 40 years, and she sat on the stage talking about making Juneteenth a federal holiday, right? And people thought she was crazy. So, yeah, right. Juneteenth, a holiday, it's hard to get a federal holiday, much less a Black holiday, and make it so people get a federal, no way, right? And 3 weeks later, after that, Juneteenth became a federal holiday. She had actually executed on something. What they didn't see is she had been working for years trying to make this happen. And when she made that a federal holiday, a year later, I stood on a rooftop with her on our second 40 Acre Conference, and we created the Juneteenth Hall of Fame, which, as a minority supplier in the private sector, we own the Juneteenth Hall of Fame globally. And if you'd ever like to join us, you can text Legacy to 888-111. And we've been able to honor both millionaires and billionaires, billionaires like Robert Smith, Michael B. Roberts, honor people like Oprah Winfrey, on a stage that's we're going to have a Black History Museum, honor people like George Fraser, who on the same wavelength, I was able to honor him for being in the Juneteenth Hall of Fame. And he's building the Black History Legacy Museum, a $500 million facility in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're the first other museum that's going to be in that Black History Legacy Museum, paid for by the federal government and generous donors just like you all over the world. And you'll see that come out. People don't understand how iconic these moments are, and probably won't for another 5-10 years. But you'll know that you heard it first right here on the Black Business Network. And all of these things have just started to happen. One of the things that we've seen in tech and in AI is things getting faster, people getting smarter, and things being more streamlined with a touch of the button. So when I talked about manifestation, I wrote a book called The Prophecy, and it was a bunch of visions. I don't inflict my faith on anybody, but I have to personally give glory to God for everything that has happened. And I got visions of the end before I even started the beginning over about 3 years ago at the end of 2020. And I wrote it all in a book. If you'd like a copy of that book, I will be happy to share it with you. Just text legacy to 888-111 and we'll get that for you. I say all this to say the AI culmination, the manifestation culmination, and making sure being able to get into the right rooms and the right network. On our second 40-acre conference against conventional wisdom, we rented out through the help of our sponsors a whole theater, and we're able to create the Legacy Builder Awards and to be able to turn a lot of the power coaches, learning from people like Les Brown, learning from people like George Fraser, learning from people like Dr. Eric Kelly, who's one of our Lifetime Achievement Award winners at our 40-acre conference, learning from all those people and putting what's taken hundreds of years of knowledge and packaging it so that people can be the best person that they can be, both personally and also professionally, into a system that we've created, what we call the Legacy Builders Group, right? And that's all of this is at the 40-acre conference, which you can find at if you tap in at the chat below. So the biggest thing is learning how to put all this together, from the execution of manifestation, from being able to know who the right client is. And we've learned on social media how to create client attraction groups, right? To attract the right client at the right time. Like Dr. Kelly says, whatever you're looking for is looking for you. And we've been able to create groups for people that are looking for the same thing. And one of those things are around sales, right? We've been able to put people in the same room as corporations looking to disperse their money into the Black community, some of those same people that were on the list that I talked about earlier, and really make sure that they get what they want with that new product in the right community that they want to do it within. And there's a lot of people that are classically trained on the art of selling, which is an art specifically in the AI industry. And all of that is you can find that right where you're watching this on LinkedIn. And we've created that. And we've created ways through AI software to attract certain people, and with the right message at the right time, to those groups. And you're going to see AI do a lot of different things. Even some of our pictures, through AI, we have learned to take our own voice and create compelling messages. That's why you see all of these artists are fighting over the rights, which they should, because they don't want their voices or their work to be used in perpetuity. So corporations or large studios can use them without needing them, right? So there needs to be some sort of agreement there. But on your own side, with your own business, you can use that to create some very compelling messages that don't get tired, that aren't irritable, or whatever you are at not your best state. You can create your best state and then recreate it over and over and over and over with AI and make it a tailored message for those right people at that right time, which is absolutely incredible. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. And I'm an older millennial, right? I'm 37. So I've seen the shift from when I was a real little kid to see payphones. People are like, what's a payphone, right? Be early 90s to see the payphone to the mobile phone, and not even need a mobile phone, and people talking to each other, through voice over IP and everything on the internet all the way through. I was there before, and remember as a little kid being in 6th grade when the internet was popping, and AOL, trying to text your friends and people you're trying to meet. before that, going into the two-way pages when I was a little kid, to see people texting, and now things being automated through AI. And that journey has been incredible to see, and to be able to understand that that's only the beginning is an exciting place to be. And it's something that we all need to embrace, and not get to a point where we're like, oh, well, AI is going to replace us. Forget all that, right? It's like the people that used to ride horses pulling things and say, okay, well, the car's going to replace us, or all that. The machines are going to replace us. Yeah. But it's if you own the machine and you know how to create value and put that value into a machine to accelerate your journey, that's where we want to be. And that's where we want to be now, not later. We want to own the machine. We don't want to be replaced by it. So if you start to learn some of those things, and we have, not that I am incredibly great or have the best following or the largest resources, what I have learned to do is put all of those people in the same room. And if you want to be in those rooms with a Dr. Kelly, right, with a Alexander Rockefeller, right, you can do that at the 40 Acre Conference. It's going to be MLK weekend down in Houston, Texas. Text Legacy to 888-111. You can get a vendor table, be an exhibitor. We still have a few speaker slots. There's going to be millionaires and billionaires there. We have a golf tournament there. And these are all things that we have manifested, right? We wrote these down before they came to fruition. I can remember when I asked and Dr. Kelly was put into my path, and we did not know how to stream things like on this network. And we streamed our first conference on the Black Business Network. And I always, before that, and I'll show you right now, it's like, oh, relax, I'm not taking off my clothes, but Dr. Kelly's about to pull me off. But I started wearing this Africa pendant probably 6 months before our conference, right? Because it was my dream to be able to actually go and step foot on the motherland and go to Africa. Well, I did our conference and we streamed to 200 countries. And shortly after the conference was over, I got a call from a diplomat in Africa, specifically the Congo. And they called and they said, hey, we saw what you did at your conference. We would love for you to come to Africa. And I hung up the phone. Boom, right? So y'all ain't gonna get me. It sounded like a scam. But it was real. And I had the opportunity 48 hours later, right? I didn't even have a passport. They sent me to a special office, got that diplomatic stamp, got my passport, and I was on my way to Africa. And I went there on a private flight and had armed guards the whole time. And I'm sitting there like, man, how did I get here? Right? And I thought about some of the things that I wrote down, and I thought about my Africa pen, and I said, man, this moment was manifest. This is what and I'm here. And then I'm like, and I told Dr. Kemp, man, who do these people think I am? Like the police escorts and all that, like you start to get imposter syndrome, but then you realize you're supposed to be in that moment, and you embrace that moment. And it was incredible, right? I remember sitting at not the White House, we called it the Black House, right? Because it's a cabinet full of Black people, Africans. But I'm sitting here, and it's a small room party, probably 40 people at this private dinner. And, you have the guards on each side, more food than you can ever imagine. It was incredible. And then the president was sitting at the head of the table. I'm sitting at the table with the prime minister, the minister of finance. They're trying to figure out who I am, like how I got here. I'm trying to figure out how I got here. Like they think I'm a prime minister or something that I'm not. And I'm like, yeah, I run this conference. And, they're like, okay, excellent. And they ran this whole African-American Descendants Day. And they said, well, this guy can help us. get to more places and get to more people, and gave me access to even bring other people there. Shout out to Mr. Combo at Combo Jets, who has a phenomenal company doing that and bringing people over. And we'll bring probably 30 more people, 30 to 40 people next year to the Congo, going to Ghana at the end of this year. And none of this would have had happened if these ideas didn't start in my mind, right? The true manifestation, and then putting different places and having faith, and thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to actually answer the call, right? God doesn't call qualified people. He gets people that answer the call and then and qualifies them. Because I wasn't, right? This is like this whole initiative. Like, you really want to do this? You really want to help millions of people get their 40 acres? Boom, here you go. 40-acre conference. Boom. I was at another event with Kim Roxy, and a lot of people still didn't really know my name. And she said, "Oh, there's Mr. 40-acre." And after that, I was like, man, that's okay. There's consistency. There's clarity with that. And I got confidence with that. I was in their session. She talked about the 3 C's. So after that, I changed my Instagram name, right, to Mr. 40-acre. And then I started getting calls. They're like, "Hey, Mr. 40-acre, we would love to have you speak. You run the 40-acre conference, right?" And then everything was congruent. So your gifts will make room for you. And we look forward to having a lot of different people be on our stage, be in our booths, create group economics. If that's something you're interested in, text Legacy to 888-111. You'll hear me continuously say that, because one of the things I learned from one of our people, Mr. Marcus Bowers, who I had been following him for a while, and then he talked about leveraging data wherever you're at. I was at a conference with him, and he was on stage and saying, don't build businesses, build databases, right? Because a business may go in and out of business, but if you have the database, you can take that data and leverage it and use it as a competitive advantage. And that's a good segue into what we are able to do with corporations. So those corporations that are interested in being partners, that are interested in being sponsors, one of the things that we do that's over and above some of these other people or some of these other conferences is we collect a lot of data, right? We will have the data, the demographics. We know we attract people that are 20 to probably 45, mostly millennials, that make about $84,000 a year on the low end. Our VIPs and influencers are upwards of $280,000. Black and Latinx have about 5,000 people that will come through the duration of the weekend. And those are all people that you can showcase your brand to, not there, but even before, depending on how you want to partner. You can have your data go out on some of our pop-up events and things that we do so that we can sponsor kids and have commercials for you that specifically speak to what you've been able to help them accomplish. Give you an example, like HP they were really getting into gaming, and they bought a company called HyperX. So at one of our conferences, they sent 1,000 of these HyperX headsets, and we had a gaming tournament in our vendor hall. That was very important to them because they wanted to collect data on and feedback from some of these young individuals, and they were able to do that. Another example, Jordan. Jordan was, everybody knows Jordan for basketball, right? Greatest basketball player, and people are going to debate with me, typing in the chat, talking who's better, but Jordan he's the greatest, and I'm a Kobe fan, right? But Jordan's absolutely phenomenal. He's known for basketball. So when we started our golf tournament, by the way, people told us not to do, I called Jordan and said, look, I know you have these new golf shoes out. Where were you doing things? And this is this is right around the same time as they were looking to do more things in golf. So Eastside Golf got that big deal and started a whole new clothing line. I'll manifest right now. We're going to have a partnership with them at our next golf tournament. Okay. But Jordan, they've been one of our sponsors, and every single year, the last few years, we've had the opportunity to have a bunch of Jordans, which started with the golf, right? They wanted to have Jordans on a bunch of our influencers at the golf tournament, which is key. And we were able to do that and get a lot of good footage and send it back to them. So there's a lot of good things we can do. And then, of course, the kids absolutely loved it, right? What kid doesn't like Jordan? So we were able to help them answer questions about financial literacy, got them into pitch competitions that we've done in our hall, our exhibitor hall as well, and then gave out a bunch of Jordans, compliment of Jordan. So just a few things like that, few examples. There's a lot of great things. We're going to partner with more corporations this year, and hopefully, not hopefully, we will have the opportunity to grow our partnerships and our network. And that's why we're on here, really to showcase some of the things, not only that this network has been able to help us with and some of that thought and strategy, but also the culmination in the journey of keeping going, and the consistency and the clarity of what we do, and packaging that with what we knew, what we learned, and what we were really good at, right? Doing these things, this is the gift, those things that you do it with the highest amount of efficiency, right? Steve Harvey talks about the gift with the least amount of effort and the most amount of impact. That's what we're able to do. And my background has been around in tech. So to culminate all those things together, and then to add our new offering, which is with AI, and that's who runs all the data and AI on the back end for our conference and the other things that we're able to do, to add that component and to show our people how they can leverage that data for a competitive advantage, and help them get into brands that are doing great things. We're coaching people to be the next closers for the biggest influencer that they would like, right? Show them how to do this client attraction so that they can attract new clients and new leads every single day using AI, and then give them compelling scripts and messaging that's resonates with that audience to be able to close them, right? And be able to do that every single day with a bunch of bats and a bunch of leads, leveraging AI. So all of this is important, and we're able to do this. If you'd like to join us, you can text the word legacy to 888-111. We just had this last weekend. It was very special for us because for a little bit, we used to give out our manifestation shots, right? We own the #1 manifestation shot in the world right now. And we used to give them out for free. And I'm wrapping this up and give you a summary of what I told you. We used to give them out all for free. And then I had the opportunity. I was speaking at a conference. Vivica Fox was there. She spoke. There was another Romeo and Master P, and Master P's son, Lil Romeo, was in. He's not little. He's a big guy, right? He was there, and his flight got delayed. And the night before, I was sleeping, and I couldn't sleep. And I had a message, right? I get these visions because God will show you the end before the beginning. And I just got a message to, hey, bring your manifestation shots and, do what you do, dress how you dress. So Romeo's flight was delayed. And I had the opportunity they're looking for a speaker. They're like, man, who can we get to speak? It's right before Eric Thomas, right before lunch, right? Who can we get to speak? And I'm sitting here with these manifestation shots. And I said, do you need a speaker? I can definitely. And two of the other people there knew me, and he was the production guy, looking at each other like, yeah, it looks fly. It's better than what we got, which is nothing. So sometimes just showing up and being better than nothing will get you on stage. And I had the opportunity to open up for Eric Thomas and bring a bunch of people on stage, did this manifestation experience. And when Eric Thomas opened up, his speech was about manifestation, right? And I got this message, and after that, people really started to tap into these manifestation shots. If you would like one, and I'll send you that footage as well. Text legacy to 888-111, and I'll send you that footage. And then before we had our conference and wrapped it up, I said, and I wrote down, hey, some of the people I wanted to be there, and I wrote down a billionaire's name. And I had the opportunity through another conference that I volunteered at. I saw him come off stage and nobody would sell. He was real busy, was kind of frantic. And I was sitting there as a volunteer. He was on my list of people, and he had a bunch of books. And right, there was nobody there to help him. I said, Mr. Roberts, do you need to help selling your books? He said, absolutely. I said, okay, here's a pen. And I had a pen. I never have a pen on me. I had a pen. I said, hey, you sit here, you sign books. And we sold all of his books. We sold out of all of his books. And from that day forward, he's like, hey, whatever you need, just let me know. I'll be there. Here's my number. Just call me. And he came to my conference. He was my one of our keynote speakers. He took that manifestation shot, and it was absolutely incredible experience, right? And some of these things, they're like, if I just told you without having pictures and documentation, you wouldn't believe me, right? So look at our Instagram. Instagram is at 40 Acre Conference. I am Mr. 40 Acres is my personal. I am Mr. 40 Acres, my personal Instagram. And putting all of those things together, I'd also wrote down that I wanted to do like a documentary or a TV show, right? Because a few of my friends, even the people that we learned to coach, after a few conferences, one of my friends said, look, you should start coaching people on how to do this, because we built a very substantial business over the last few years, right? And this gentleman had spent 16 years in prison and turned his life around. He got saved and turned his life over to God, and he really learned. It's incredible. Him and his partner, incredible coaches, and taught me some of those things and some of those principles. And I said, man, it'd be incredible to do a documentary on this. And this past weekend, they wanted me to speak and do a manifestation experience for a certain speaker. And that speaker happened to be, right, Dame Dash. And Dame Dash has just started, he rebranded it. It was Dame Dash Studios, but he just started his new, a new network. And there I told him what I was attempting to do. And he's like, let's get the content, let's roll it, and we'll partner. I'll put it on my network, and if it's good content, right, we'll put all the ads to it, and you'll get 60% of the revenue, right? And I was like, what? With Dame Dash? Man. So all these things really started to happen. And with a couple different things that I've learned, to sum it all up, and I learned this from Kim Roxy. First of all, with confidence, right? Confidence in self, regardless of if you know what the next step is. And confidence comes from competence, right? The first part of competence is knowing what you want. And that's the manifestation piece, writing it down, right? Knowing exactly what you want. And then even if you're bad, you have to start somewhere, learning, and people will show up on the way on your journey, just like Dr. Kelly did for me. Writing down what you want and then taking steps and letting people mentor you, coach you along the way until you go from bad to good. And then you have confidence because you're able to actually help people right now. In the beginning, when you're not that good, you'll get better, and then you'll be really good, and you'll be confident in what you do. Number 2 is clarity. We talked about the clarity, and that's where a lot of the mentorship and the coaching, when you buy and do things with coaching or use things with software or technology, what you're buying is all the experience and all of the blood, sweat, and tears it took to make that person or that platform so that you can accelerate your journey substantially, right? So you want the clarity and know how to cut through all, hey, don't go that way, go this way, do this, say this, and finish off with this at this time, and you'll get results a lot faster. Right. And then the last thing is consistency, right? You got to do the work. Regardless of if anybody's coming to your party, you got to come to your own party first, right? You gotta put in that work. I've been on this new tip. I used to go to bed real late because I used to work nights when I was young, and that was instilled in me. But I've been really looking and watching a bunch of Eric Thomas, got a chance to meet him. I'm gonna be on a stage with him early next year, right? And join his inner circle. But nobody's showing up. I didn't get on that stage, didn't get all these places, didn't have my own conference, didn't have any of these things. And unless I had consistency and continued to show up. This is now going to be our 5th conference, and time has flown. So if you want to be a part of that, text Legacy to 888-111. We're going to help you create that consistency as well by using all of that data as a competitive advantage with AI. This has been my time. My name is Alan Thornton. You can follow us at 40 Acre Conference or my Instagram. I am Mr. 40 Acre. Thank you.
Mr. 40 Acre, you came and brought the mules and everything with you. It was a phenomenal speech that you gave, and I hope people took those nuggets that you gave. And you know, manifestation, I do believe, is one of the most powerful techniques that we have that is so underutilized in my thoughts of it. So you've already told them, you know, if they don't have it by now, I even know about heart. 888-1111. Text everything to it, right? And I had a pleasure to meet Kim Roxy. Just did a collab with her just 30 days ago. So the fact that you brought her up today just shows me that I'm manifesting some things in my own way as well. So it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm sure a lot of people will want to speak with you and be on your platform. So I'm sure by now your database is just going off. And if not, I'll just text it like 9 times. So you know you did an effective job.
I love it. I love it.
So if I remember correctly, you wanted us to take text acres. You wanted us to text legacy. What else did you want us to text?
Just one thing. I don't want to confuse people.
Okay.
You can text legacy to 888-111, and you'll get all the information you need about the 40 Acre. Everything I talked about, you'll get the information you need. Legacy to 888-111. I don't want to say scan a QR code or go to the website because people forget it. Everybody got their phone. Text legacy to 888-111.
Perfect. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you on the other side. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Be blessed.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and the host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and the host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
I am from Washington, D.C., but I was raised in Durham, North Carolina. I came to Durham when I was about 5 or 6, and then I travel back and forth to D.C. because it's where my people are from. One of the unique things about my family is my mother, she's also an artist. She does quilting, And she does a lot of artistic things. And then my son, he draws with both hands, his right hand and his left hand, like I do. So that's kind of a family trait. And then my other son, he's a videographer, and my daughter, she works, she's a regional vice president for Sunglasses. When you start out drawing and sketching, you want to continue to explore, you know, each avenue. I do pastels, I do pen and ink, I do painting, I do acrylics. I haven't done oils yet, but I try to do all facets of art. What I say to a lot of times to people is, you know, you can't put yourself in a box when you're an artist. You have to explore. And over the course of my life, I've tried to explore different mediums. I also do sculpture as well. I choose my subjects by the intensity that they have in their faces, or the intensity that somebody is moving, because I do more than portrait drawings. I also do I do abstract, and then I do figurative drawing also. Well, what happened in this particular show is that I started out trying to come up with something that would be a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. So I was working on a Barack Obama show, and they wanted me to do some paintings of Barack. And so what I did was, because of the deadlines, I kind of did it kind of fast. And then I realized when I was doing it fast, I enjoyed it. And so then I started doing other pieces the same way, and I started to enjoy those pieces also. And so I came up with this particular style, and it's a style of lines and colors. And what's interesting is that when I was in college, I did a show called Lines, Colors, and I talked about the boldness of the blacks, the hotness of the whites, and this is how this has come about, you know, later on in my life. And the colors comes from a lot of the entertainers that I work with, where they wear different colors. They don't wear, you know, your plain reds or your whites. They wear different colors, and so that's also another piece of what's giving me the colors. The subtitle of this show is Faces That Speak Life. That's real critical. Faces that speak life. Each one of these pieces is a life source and a life energy that's being put on display for people that are looking at them. You know, I always say in terms of my art, it's not important that I draw them. It's important what you get out of what I draw. You know, I don't try to just draw it because you like it. People wanted me to do prints. I didn't do prints. You know, people asked me to do different people, but the people that I choose are people that make a difference in the lives of people in the world. So the human landscape idea was, again, as I say, the lines represent your emotions, it represents your ideas, and it represents your journey as a human being. And that's why you get the different pieces and the different looks. And as you notice, I try not to do one look that looks alike another look. And that's what's the most important part of this show.
Phenomenal Tanya T. Wise, who is here from the great state of Maryland. Tanya, welcome, and thank you for being with us today. Can you indulge our audience a little bit and tell them just a little bit more about who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, I love being able to talk to people and have a magnetic attitude, being able to just show them. So I always like to say, level up is Coach at Tanya T. Wise here.
So can you tell our audience, just give them a teaser about what your presentation will be about?
So my philosophy is that we should all be living our dream life. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you start living your dream life. What are some of the things that you thought about in your childhood that you just kind of let go and dormant?
Wow.
And I want to reignite that and just give you some pointers and some tips, some tools, some strategies to be able to start living your best life now. And guess what, Wanda? And leave an inheritance for your legacy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I know that's resonating with a lot of people. I've heard that you have a dynamic coaching program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that
have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools, we help them implement strategies, as well as give them resources so that they can live their best life now and leave that inheritance.
Wow. Oh, I love that. I love the leave the inheritance part. Listen, you are dropping some major nuggets, and I know a lot of what you're saying is resonating with a lot of people, but I think we're all curious. How did you even make this transition into the speaking and coaching arena? What's the story behind this? So I started out in finance, and I realized that a lot of people don't necessarily go after their dream life because of the lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income, and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it. If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that? Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Wise.
Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Dr. Tanya T. Wise, the founder and CEO of All New Beginning. I am your business moderator for this afternoon on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next keynote speaker is Milan Perry of Zillionaires. Milan has been helping people create sustainable wealth by helping them make wise decisions for over 2 decades as a certified financial planner. Melanie's passion for financial literacy extends to educating women and kids about basic of money management through financial literacy and education. Help me welcome to the stage Milan Perry.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Tanya, it is a blessing to be here. And while we had 44's wife is Milani, my name is Melanie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know our ears get used to hearing Milani. No, Melanie. Let's not get it twisted. Melanie.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Let me correct that. This is
Please,
Melanie
honey.
Perry. You're right, because I'm thinking about the advertisement.
Yes, no worries.
Because,
Depending on the accent, when I'm dealing with Spanish speaking folks, it's Melanie. So I respond, but not to Milani.
Please forgive me, because saying our names correctly is so important.
It's all good.
It's a pleasure to be in your presence again. I'm going to leave you to the stage. Take it away, Melanie Perry, because genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Amen. Thank you for that, Dr. Wise. And it's just a blessing to be in this space. And I want to make sure those that are in the hearing of my voice, that you are ready to receive. So if anyone is listening to this live, or if you are catching the replay, I believe that there is a way to interact in the comments or in the chat. So click ready to receive because I'm about to drop some knowledge here today. So the focus today I wanted to speak on are the various universal laws. Now, as Tanya introduced, Dr. Wise introduced, I am a financial advisor, financial coach, financial therapist, actually, because what I do for my clients is beyond just the basic financial planning strategies, how much to save, where to save, work for you. There is a mindset, a money mindset that we need to have along our wealth journey, and to really infuse the proper money mindset to ensure that we're on the right path and that we're heading in the right direction. It's important that we have our frame of mind in the right context. So when we begin to study the various universal laws, regardless of what spiritual or religious background you have, particularly religious background, by aligning whatever religious background you have to these spiritual laws, will help to put you in the proper frame of mind to understand the basic rhythm and flow of the money. At Zillionaire Enterprises, we know and we understand that we are all born wealthy. Genius is common, right? So knowing that we are all born wealthy, what we have to do, no, we don't have to. What those that choose to respond to the call must do is to activate that wealth, to be able to translate that wealth into its monetary equivalent. Now, the reason why we want to translate this wealth into its monetary equivalent is because in this world, this material world, by us having the ability to monetize our wealth gives us opportunity. It exposes us to more opportunities to be able to do what we're here to fulfill, to be able to truly and fully fulfill our life purpose. Now, our life purpose isn't completely wrapped around money, no. But when we understand money is a tool for us to further enhance and activate our purpose, then we can be in stronger pursuit and better pursuit of actually making it happen, because we recognize that then in this capitalistic system, which oftentimes we want to consider as evil and demonic, but I'm here to tell you that capitalism in and of itself is merely a tool. And those that choose to use that tool will determine what the outcome can be. Listen, for those of you who are like, feeling the hairs raised on your back, hear what I'm saying. We all know a hammer. We know what a hammer can do. A hammer can build a house for homeless people and change their lives, right? A hammer can also kill. Now, is the hammer in and of itself evil and maniacal? No. It was a tool that can do good or can do bad. But the person that's holding the tool will determine what the outcome is. This is the same truth when it money, when it comes to wealth, and when it comes to the purpose, to fulfilling our purpose and converting our inner wealth into its outer equivalent. So the rhythm, so one of the universal laws that I want to touch on today is the law of rhythm. Now, the law of rhythm basically kind of goes back to the basic truth that there's commonly it's said there's two guarantees in life, death and taxes, but there's a third one, which is change. And that's essentially what the law of rhythm focuses on. It focuses on that throughout our lives, change is ever present, right? So when you resist change, what you resist persists, right? But in actuality, change is actually a good thing, because in various seasons, it allows us to begin to expand and grow. When we think about the 4 seasons, there are times that we're moving into right now, which is the winter. We just passed. Are we coming into the fall? This is the fall. We do planning, and I'm already in 2024 in terms of my thinking. But we're entering into the fall. The fall is the time to really begin to sit back, begin to reassess, and slow down, essentially. When we move into the winter, our winter is that moment to real be still and let that nourishment begin to replenish itself, because you're no longer there's plants are no longer taking the nutrients from the soil. This is another more extended period of rest. And during that dormancy is a replenishment time for nature, which is an also replenishment time for us, so that when the season becomes warmer, the seeds that were in dormancy during the winter are now beginning to propagate. And as those seeds begin to propagate during the spring, right? There's a new harvest, or a new not harvest, but plant, a garden that is ready to is preparing itself to be ready for the harvest. Okay. So y'all get what I'm saying in terms of the seasons, right? Now I'm a gardener, so understanding nature through the essence of gardening is something that I have found to be very enriching for my soul, and to help me also understand life in a broader perspective. But getting back to money, your money, and the law of rhythm, we're always going to go through a season of change. And depending on what you have chosen to learn through these various seasons, will prepare you for the next season. So the law of rhythm is all about cycles. It's all about seasons. It's all about a perpetual movement. What does it say? It says that still waters run deep, but still waters also produce fungus. So we don't want still waters. We want waters to be flowing and moving. We want the current. Okay. So we want things to be in flow. We want things to be in constant movement, and we want to be in the flow of that movement. We don't want to be like salmon going up again. We want to go with the flow. So when we're thinking about the law of rhythm, and we're thinking about that in the context of our wealth, right? In the context of building wealth, we want to make sure that we are not putting ourselves in a position where we're not progressing, right? So think about this in terms of, let me put it like this. If you find that you never seem to have enough money to save, or you find that you can't, focus and sit down and look at your bills coming in the mail stacking up, or your emails stacking up, you don't look at your statements, that kind of thing, then you are basically in a state of resistance, and you're in a state of scarcity, because you don't want to look at how you don't want to look at the present circumstances to begin to learn how to fix it, right? I say all the time that your present circumstances do not dictate your future outcome. Okay. So it's important that we acknowledge where we are, but we don't let that be the determining factor of where we're going to end up being. So the only way to kind of get out of that stagnation, because again, in the midst of stagnation, disease festers. The only remedy is to pause, to reflect, to assess, so that you can reassess, right? So you're going to have to go through your winter, and when the environment is still, you have that opportunity to reassess and reevaluate, and really get into and be clear about what it is you really want, you really need, and what you want in your life. When you have clarity of what you want, then God begins to orchestrate in alignment with your desires. And so many serendipitous actions or activities or opportunities pop up. You to go left instead of right, to sit next to this person instead of that person at the networking event, or you decide to go to this coffee house instead of that coffee house, and then you end up meeting people that you wouldn't have normally met, or you had thought about someone and then all of a sudden they text you or they call you. That's because you had discernment, you had clarity of what you want. And when you have clarity of what you want, miracles happen. As we enter into the fourth quarter, we've got 3 months to get to our goals, no matter where you are. So it's imperative at this moment about what it is that we want. If you're this far away from getting to that goal, you need to ensure that you're doing everything you possibly can to reach that financial objective. If you're a little farther away from that goal, you still have 3 months to make it happen. Your present circumstances do not dictate your future outcome. So the thing is that you have to go into your winter, allow for a time to be still so that you can have the necessary clarity, and then spring out into action. So again, this is going to trigger your spring, and God begins to send the birds and the bees to create opportunities for a bountiful harvest. And so you have to be prepared for opportunity, right? So it's imperative that you establish routines of success. One of the routines of success that I incorporate that extends beyond just the basic saving money, investing money, and making sure I'm purchasing income generating assets. But to prepare my environment, my mind, there are 3 things that I do in the morning and in the evening. In the morning and evening, I give myself an hour of power. That hour of power consists of 3 action steps. 1 is my meditation and prayer. The second thing is I exercise, and I conclude with journaling. That journaling is what prepares my mind for the day and sets context, right? We can set our days up for a disaster, or we can set our days up for a success. And so part of your wealth journey, as I keep stating, includes beyond just the financial piece, because you could be as sick as a dog and healthy and wealthy beyond your imagination, but you don't have the physical ability to enjoy the wealth. Well, who gives a flip-flop if you have $10 million? If you can't enjoy it, right? So we need to make sure our physical, mental, emotional, financial, and everything, spiritually and relationally, with our relationship with ourselves, our families, relationship with our staff, colleagues, co-workers, is all on path to fullness, to the fullness of experience of how we can enjoy those different domains of wealth. So that's my hour in the morning, consists of those 3 things. And then my hour of power in the evening. So I'm doing something cardio in the morning, but in the evening is when I also meditate, focus mainly on meditating in the evening. And I also do some type of stretching, whether it's yoga, Pilates, or just literally just stretching. And then I journal based upon what I accomplished that day, what was successful, or what were some things I needed to tweak. And you might think, well, that sounds great, Melanie, but you know what? I don't have an hour in the morning or in the evening. So what am I going to do? Well, don't take an hour. Take 15 minutes. You can do all of these things in 5 minutes. 5 minutes to meditate, 5 minutes to do some jumping jacks, 5 minutes to do some journaling. My point is that you take some clear, concerted time to frame your day by starting with those 3 action steps in the morning, and to put context to your rest so that in your state of dormancy, in your state of sleep, you fully getting the value of sleep, because when we're asleep, our body heals, goes through a healing process. So again, that you can be fully prepared in the morning to handle all the activity you need to handle, right? And it also, it puts us into context for our future days. right? Because we can dream. When you're able to visualize what you want, then that puts you in a closer space to actually begin to achieve it. So the important nature of our routines is vital. And it's vital that we also set rules of engagement, okay? Rules of engagement with and boundaries with our money. So we set our mind frames up for success by preparing ourselves for success. And then how we begin to set our money up for success is to create various rules of engagement, boundaries that are developed to help us have a better relationship with our finances. So some examples would be to, if you're like many of the clients that I work with, then you are the go-to person in the families and amongst your friends that people may ask for financial assistance. And giving the heart-centered person that you are, you give it. Well, that can derail you from your particular goals, right? So how do you see that you know you have the money to help, but you want to tell them no? Here's what you do. One rule, one boundary you can create for yourself and others is to apply the 3-bucket rule. So the zillionaire 3-bucket rule is where you have a dip, emergency, and a wealth account. This sets the foundation for financial success. Any building that is built starts with a solid foundation. We're not going to start on a rocky quicksand foundation. Okay. So your dip account is like a rainy day fund. And this is where you have at least of a month of your expenses set aside. The money can be used to say, hey, you know, you've been working 24/7, you're taking care of your kids, you're taking care of your parents, you're taking care of your business, you're taking care of your job, right? And you're like, you know what? I'm flying to Sedona, Martha's Vineyard, or wherever you can go quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? Tonight. So you would dip into, well, you pay on your credit card, but you want to dip into your dip account to ultimately pay that off. The dip account is also for, let's say you're thumbing through social media and you see a conference and it's happening like next week. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't plan for that, but I got to go to that conference, expand my business, my practice, my wealth journey. You would dip into your dip account for something like that. If you need to fly back home, help a family member, dip into your dip account. Okay, so I'm speaking more on the personal side. I'll talk more so about the business way in which you would handle those things too. Okay, so that's the dip account. So you have a month of your expenses set aside there, and you want to put that into a liquid account. Liquid meaning that you have quick access to it. Okay, so that would be a savings account, money market account, a CD, and certain types of life insurance, depending on how much you end up, having. All right. So next we have the emergency account, and the typical amount, you can Google this anywhere, is to have 3 to 6 months of emergency money set aside. So at least you should have 3 months of your expenses. At best, you can have 3 months of your gross income. Okay, at least your expenses, or at most your gross income. And then as you get beyond, so I said 3 to 6 months. So as you get beyond the 6 months, then that's where you can decide, well, maybe I don't necessarily need a whole year in a savings account getting, 2%. You can look at other liquid investment options, T-bills, again, like I mentioned, life insurance. Certain types of life insurance allow you to do that, where you get a higher interest rate, have access within 2 to 3 days of seeking the request for those funds. Okay, so that's your emergency account. The wealth account is for the sole purpose of buying assets. And by assets, I mean anything that puts money in your pocket today at some point in the future. So this would be an asset, particularly income generating asset. For example, investment property, to build up a portfolio of tax lien certificates, to have seed money for starting a business. These are all things to will provide you with a consistent income stream. And let me interject here that one of the fallacies that I used to purport as a financial advisor, is how we were trained, was that wealth was accumulated through accumulation. No, wealth, true financial freedom happens through cash flow. Now, accumulation is a part of it, but if you need to access what you accumulated and you don't have money that's constantly replenishing it, think of a waterfall, right? If the waterfall stops flowing water, the current stops, then it will dry up. So as long as you consistently have the currency, the flow, you will always have a well to replenish from, right? A well to dip from. Okay. So, same thing with our money, right? It's cash flow that is queen. Cash is king and cash flow is queen. Now I got a little sidetracked, but okay, that's what I wanted to share. Let me reel myself back in. So I just wanted to point that out. So we're talking about the foundational piece of the 3 zillionaire buckets, the dip account, emergency, and the wealth account. I see how I got off track. So it's very vital that you understand the purpose of that wealth account. It's to purchase income generating assets, not necessarily just to accumulate and accumulate, because you can't save your way to wealth. The cost of living is just way too high. I think last week I blinked and gas prices like tripled. So gas and everything else. I mean, we were already in a high inflationary environment, but it just seemed like from one week to the next, everything just popped up here in California. So that limits, right, your ability to spend. But when you have an additional cash flow source coming through, you don't feel the strong effects of inflation, happening. All right, that was a slight little economic topic there. Okay, so then let's talk about what that looks like on the business side. So that was the personal, your dip, emergency, and wealth. It's a similar approach and strategy in terms of how you want to create and boundaries for yourself, and being purposeful with the accounts that you have. So the boundary, or the rule, I should say, for what I just described and what I will describe with the business, is you now have set clarity of what the account is for, when you would access it, right? Because with the deal, like for rainy days, I provided examples as to when and why you would access it. And then once with the dip account, once it gets down to 50%, then that's when you need to start replenishing it, because we're not going to let our river run dry, right? So when you know how much you need to save, why you need to save it, and when you need to start replenishing it, you now have set rules of engagement. So if someone was to ask you, oh, can you spare a dime, right? Then you can check and say, I'm over my 50%. Sure. Oh, I'm under my 50%. Sorry. Come back next. Maybe I can refer you to somebody. You provide them with something else. One thing that my father, a lesson my father provided me for, because he's extremely benevolent, is if you don't have the resources, you can still give them something, right? Give them a plate of food, or if you had a gift card, you can extend that gift card to them. You can still help out without having to dip into your cash and put yourself out of whack financially as a means to help, someone else. Okay. On the business side, what we're going to do is we're still going to apply 3 buckets, but they're going to be titled something a little different. So you would have your reserve account, which would act as your rainy day fund for your business. That reserve account would have about a month of your business expenses set aside there. So again, in the context of, the business, let's say that there was a conference, networking event, or something going on where you feel like that's going to augment the revenue in your business, and it kind of popped up, you weren't planning for it, you would um, hop into, I don't want to say dip, you would hop into your reserve account and access the funds there. Again, when you get down to 50%, those other situations are not an option. The next bucket is the operations account. The operations account, again, would have 3 to 6 months of your expenses set aside for operational purposes. So a prime example of dipping into operations would be COVID, right? So COVID popped up on us, on some of us, most of us, and we needed to get better equipment, lights and cameras and whatnot. We may have needed to hire a virtual assistant, shift our staffing, a little bit. That required a little bit of extra cash flow, change our computer, make sure our computer had enough RAM and whatnot, So then that's what the operational account would be. The third account for your business to have a solid foundation is a future projects account. So if you wanted to start a speaking career, you wanted to launch a book, you wanted to fund start retreats for your clients that require a little capital in order to get that venture started. You wanted to buy the building that you're currently renting in. You would set money aside into that future projects account for that particular purpose. And again, the rules of engagement are the same. You know what it's for, how much you should have in there, when to access it, and when you know how much should be in those accounts, then that will help you determine, okay, I need 5,000 here, 15,000 there, I need 50,000 here, so I can now allocate 1,000 here, 500 there, 200 here. You can begin to adjust that. Now, so I don't want to get into financial planning at this point, but that gives you some perspective, okay? So as we begin to come to a conclusion in our conversation here in terms of understanding the law of rhythm and your money, you can see how the highest and best use of money is when it's in circulation, right? So we're constantly funneling these accounts, then we're going to be using them. Now, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we have a purpose to the services and products that we're offering, right? So we are now fulfilling a vital need to our community, which provides added value. So we're enhancing the lives of people that we serve. And as a result of that, they are exchanging their dollars with us. Because we are spiritually grounded individuals and we are clear about who we are and whose we are, right? Then we will acquire an abundant amount of revenue, which will overflow our accounts, which will put us in a accounting position to be more philanthropic. We have purchased all the material things. We've traveled as many places as we can travel. We want to get to a point where we've got excess, because when spiritually grounded individuals are in control of an abundant amount of financial money resources, then we can be greater stewards with that money by participating, by supporting causes that will enhance, will create solutions. We can actually put a stop to a lot of things that are just ridiculous. For example, in California, every year, 1,000 kids emancipate from the foster care system, Southern California. and they're homeless. That shouldn't even be a factor, right? How that can be quickly and easily solved is those of us that have real estate, investment property, we can allocate 1 unit of our building to a transitional age youth that's in a program that is improving, that is helping to nurture them, to improve them. So Hillsides has a program that nurtures transitional age youth to transfer into the world through various programs and things that they have an apartment complex where they have integrated their youth that are in their program into the world, but in their care. And so we as a community can apply that same philosophy and same strategy within our particular, units, right? So that's not necessarily philanthropy unless you work this. That's more complicated. But the point is we can begin to solve some of these small but big issues that prevail our community, and it doesn't take that much effort. But we have to be in the mindset of pursuing abundance above and beyond what we need so that we are in a better position to be able to fulfill various causes. So we need to stop thinking, oh, well, I just need an extra $1,000 a month, or, I want $10,000, well, do you need not need, but is $10,000 the actual objective? It might actually be 12 or 15 or 20 or 100,000 based upon the goals and objectives that you have. Now, to extend our thought and understand again, keeping in flow of the law of rhythm, in that our money is constantly in movement, perpetual movement, that we monetize our wealth. We initially start with wealth from within. We monitoring a service. That service is being fulfilled by those that we serve. In exchange, they're providing money back to us, right? That money therefore goes and pays for our expenses, it pays for our staff. And as we continue to do this in a successful way, we have abundance. That abundance allows us to now be more philanthropic. And so through charitable giving strategies and through philanthropy, we can be more strategic in our giving and give above and beyond our tithes at church or our tithes to nonprofit organizations. What we can begin to do is to establish private foundations, and not based upon government restrictions, because many of us start 501c3s and we start them with the need to seek grants from the government, who has all these bureaucratic limitations on us to give this money to a cause that we believe in most. Bump all of that. Build your business up to a level where you're making 100,000 a month, 500,000 a month. You are bringing in 6-7 figures, well, 7-8 figures every single year. You don't need to live off of 6-7-8 figures a year. To strategically enjoy the wealth that you've accumulated. And also at that point, the mindset is like, well, what else can I do? You can be more philanthropic, and we can create solutions, viable, sustainable solutions for our environment. We can be more purposeful. Bill Gates is buying up all this farmland. We can be just as purposeful and buy farmland. We can control our food by buying seed banks. We can be more mindful of our medicines by understanding herbal remedies and having the place to plant them, the place to produce them, and the place to distribute them through these various philanthropic types of efforts, right? Our medical system's a hot mess. There's so many areas that I know many of us get frustrated with. And we kind of feel like, well, it kind of is what it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. Success or genius is common, right? So we don't have to deal with, there's organizations, communities where they are living off the land. And if you live within a certain mile, there's an app. If you live within a certain mile of someone that's producing sunflowers, someone over here, so they've got the eggs, and someone over here has got the beef, although I don't eat beef. Someone over there, is growing collards, and or rosemary, and if you know how rosemary grows, you just water a little bit and it's grown all over everywhere, right? And so by knowing who's growing, you've got your grocery store right there, and there's the exchange, right? It doesn't really take a lot or too much really to start growing your own food. You can grow your own food on your porch in pots. But I kind of digress. The point of the matter is, as a zillionaire, it's the name of my company, Zillionaire Enterprises, we monetize. We're just sick and tired of that. Through our ability to monetize our God-given skills, talents, and gifts, how are we using that to the fullest? And again, in the context of capitalism, by converting our wealth, not selling ourselves out, but by converting our monetary equivalent where we're providing added value, is the ultimate. It's the ultimate. And it will lead to spiritually grounded individuals becoming a part of the 1 percenters, and therefore expanding social stratification, putting social stratification on its head, instead of the 1 percenters that really ain't thinking about anybody else but themselves at the top. But by spiritually grounded individuals becoming more and more astute in monetizing their inner wealth, their God-given gifts, skills, and talents, then we can flip social stratification on its head. So that's what I have to share with y'all today. I hope that it has been fruitful. I hope that it has been enlightening. I pray that you have been fulfilled and that you are able to act on at least one thing that I shared today. I talked about a lot of different things, but I pray that you are able to be inspired and motivated on this day and beyond as we come to the end of this year. Knock it out the park. Remain steadfast, no matter what ebbs and flows and challenges might be facing you at this present moment in time. It is power for the course, I am telling you, because anytime you are, you're trying to, what do they call that? Get butterfly, not a butterfly, but get cut, right? A horseshoe, trying to get a horseshoe. You got to burn, it's going to take a little pain. But then as your muscles get used to it, the muscles start building. And in the process of it building, you become stronger for the future to come. So I thank you again for your attention, time, and presence. Be blessed and be a blessing.
Awesome job. You gave so many nuggets, and I hope they got those 3 accounts ready and have the names on what those accounts are so that you can help them implement it. As a pleasure. CF, I love to say CFP because people of color don't always have that title. So again, we thank you for that, Ms. Perry, and for being here and sharing your nuggets. Would you like to give the audience one more shout as to how to best get in contact with you?
Absolutely, Dr. Wise. So I'm making it simple. You can contact me at Zillionaire on any platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm about to lose my Twitter account though, because we're not dealing with him. But it's the other one that's on Instagram. I forget the name. Thread. Thread, yes. So the Zillionaire is ZELLIONAIRE. It is not ZILL. And I got to be dramatic because I'll spell it and people like ZILL. No, ZEALLION. AIRL, being zealous, having that fervor and tenacious desire to get it done. Zillionaire.
We love it. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Black Business Expo mission is to raise funds for high school seniors to go to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or you can use Cash App, and that's $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops up to $5,000 or 10 students, and they can register also on www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also would like to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for August 2023. NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rouche Coaching and Training, Carolinas Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation Inc., Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Milan Cheney Global, Executive Women Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Service, Creative Force Studio, Lee Entertainment, Artistry App Design, All New Beginning LLC, and Black Business Expo USA. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Social media is evolving. It's more vibrant, more colorful, more energetic, and so are you. It's not just photos anymore. It's video, it's audio, it's subscriptions. And now there's Fanbase, a new monetized social network. Fanbase delivers the complete native app experience with full content monetization for every user. No algorithms that shadow ban your engagement or growth, and no ads. Follow anyone for free and subscribe directly to your favorite creators for $4.99 a month. Plus, show some love by tipping on any post. Also, make a Fanbase page and monetize your content the same way. Finally, connect with your followers by posting the amazing content you already create. And now, get paid for it. It's time to energize and monetize, because everyone's a fan of something and everyone has a fan base. One thing's for sure, now more than ever, content creators deserve to get paid. And guess what? We're all content creators. And now there's Fanbase, the new subscription social network. Fanbase delivers the complete native app experience with full content monetization, no algorithms that slow your engagement or growth, and no ads. Follow anyone for free. Plus, subscribe directly to your favorite creators and brands for $3.99 a month. Or make a Fanbase page and monetize your content the same way. Finally, connect with your following by posting the amazing content you already create and now get paid for it. It's time to energize and monetize, because everyone's a fan of something and everyone has a fan base.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
I'd like you to imagine with me, if you will, opening an app where you can collaborate with like-minded individuals from around the world, get inspiration and in-app tools to launch and grow your business, as well as share your knowledge and earn compensation, all in one app. Well, the name of that app is Truso, short for Truly Social. Hi, I'm Matthew Newman, the founder and CEO of Truso. A new concept in social media, Truso is designed from the ground up to be a platform that's both social and empowering for all its users. How exactly do we do that? I'm glad you asked. First, Truso brings the world together via video. Psychologists assert that video provides a significantly more effective connection than audio only. When you enter a community on Truso, you're face to face. Second, on Truso, you don't have to have 1 million followers to monetize. Our business model allows all hosts and moderators to monetize, no matter the size of your following, by 1, producing fee-based content, and 2, inviting others to join the platform as subscribers. Even more, Truso has an in-app resource library with over 100 free resources, forms, and documents to help you build your brand and grow your business. Third, Truso is inclusive. The deaf and hard of hearing communities make up 360 million people worldwide. Unlike audio-only apps, Truso embraces this community, providing a networking platform that allows them to participate via video and closed captioning. We even have a deaf and hard of hearing foundation in the works as well. Fourth, Truso is both social and safe. We refer to Truso as a virtual extension of the beauty shop, barbershop, and brainchild of the community. A place where there's laughter, along with wisdom, growth-oriented conversation, and genuine connections in a safe space. Truso even has proprietary security to ensure we maintain a safe environment for everyone. Where are we at now? Truso is live, y'all. We've launched in beta, and we're acquiring users daily. We have an incredible development and marketing team, plus amazing celebrity influencers at the table, helping us spread the word around the globe, beginning within the African diaspora and beyond by creating a safe space for growth, connection, and collaboration. We're truly excited about Truso. We've created something special for which there is a global market. And we invite you to embark on this journey with us as a shareholder. The future for Truso is truly bright. Join us and let's go there together.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Ladies, if you're a person who continually pours out, you won't want to miss this upcoming event. October 13, 14, and 15 at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Ocean City, Maryland, where we have a power-packed lineup of ladies who are going to pour into you. If you need to increase your impact, your influence, and your income, this is the event for you. Don't miss the power of sisterhood. These ladies coming from around the world to network and connect with you. Don't miss it. How do you get the information? Glad you asked. Go to barbarahsmith.com and click the link. All the details there. Don't miss Sisters Inspire Sisters to Advance, October 13, 14, 15 at the beautiful Holiday Inn and Suites in Ocean City, Maryland. What you know and I know together can change the world. I want to see you there.
Cash flow 5, 10, 10, 75.
I use the cash flow app to keep track of my charities.
Cash flow 5, 10, 10, 75 helps you manage expenses, helps keep track of charitable giving, helps you save your money. Cash flow 5, 10, 10, 75. Download it today. Cash flow 5, 10, 10, 75 would like to wish the Cyber Bears good luck in this year's first robotics competition.
I was born in a little village on the island of Haiti. Many deadly diseases pounded me. It is as if they were on a mission to end my existence on this earth. I refused to give up. In 1983, I left Haiti and came to the United States of America. And I came with $5, 2 shirts. I didn't speak in English. I came to Atlanta. I got a job. I was a doorman. I was a doorman with a dream. What I used to do, I used to come on stage. I'd rehearse this moment that I'm standing in front of you. That's the power of a dream. Maybe today is the day you begin acting as if you already have it. And then step out with full force. Take a risk. No condition is permanent. Don't let your situation distract you. You are chosen. You are called. You are born for a purpose in this life.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives.
Hi, I'm Barbara Smith. Genius is common. My genius is executive coaching and professional corporate training. As the master executive coach and corporate training ambassador for the Genius is Common movement, I help business owners craft their stories in such a way that you know exactly what they do, what they have, and what they bring to the table. Many times as business owners, we are asked, so what do you do for a living? And we could be crushing in our businesses, but we're not quite sure exactly what to say in a short amount of time. Well, I help you take those stories that are the reason why you're in business and why you're so passionate about your business and craft them in such a way that people are drawn to you as opposed to being repelled by you. Because every conversation, every time you talk to someone about your business, you are excited about it. But are you really conveying what you do, what you have, and what you bring to the table? And do really people understand why you care so much and why they should care that you have the solution to their problem? Well, I'm here to help you with that. As a master storyteller, I can help you with your stories and spin them in such a way that they are intriguing and fascinating. People want to listen to you talk about your business. That's why at the Genius is Common movement, I am the master executive coach and professional training ambassador. That's my genius. And genius? Oh yeah, it's common.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I'm Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Magazine and smallbiztechnology.com.
You're here today to celebrate small business success. Stand up on your feet. You rocked the house. It was amazing. Didn't we learn? For me, success comes from failure. One thing not to do is shake somebody's hand like this.
Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Dr. Tanya T. Wise. I am the founder and CEO of All New Beginning. I am your business moderator for this afternoon Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business showcasing Black business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next speaker for today is a keynote speaker. His name is Jerry Smith. Jerry launched JAS Consulting and Entertainment in May of 2020, where he serves as a founder and a CEO. Jerry owns a digital streaming station, favor973.com. In 2021, Jerry was awarded the President Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joseph R. Biden for Jerry's 37 years of radio, and he is committed to servicing the community. Jerry is also the recipient of the Drummer Award for the Program of Directors of the Year by BRE Magazine, Gospel Truth Magazine. Help me welcome to the stage Jerry Smith.
Hello, Dr. Wise. Thank you for that awesome introduction.
You're so welcome, Jerry. Good to see you again. Jerry, I'm going to turn this stage over to you because genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Before you go, okay. Well, listen, first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity. Dr. Eric Kelly III, who I admire, and when you say genius is common, he certainly is a genius, and he wants to share all of our geniusness. And also he wants to sow into the future geniuses. They are geniuses now, but the world will get to know their genius and how common it is. I like to say that they're extraordinary young men and women. And I pray that you will sow into these young men and women by making a donation, because this is really all about them and helping them to achieve their goals, reach their destiny, and fulfill their purpose in life. So please, please make a contribution to help them with their computers, laptops, their books, tuition, everything that goes into furthering their education. As Dr. Wise mentioned, I am the CEO, founder, and owner of JAS Consulting and Entertainment and the streaming digital station favor973.com. It was launched in May of 2020. And I've just been blessed. These past 3.5 years have been truly amazing. I shared my story in the past where I've always worked for somebody. I started working when I was 14 years old. I don't know if you remember the CETA programs and stuff like that, but I've been working for an awfully long time. But I worked for somebody else. Guaranteed to get that check either once at the end of the week or bi-weekly. And when you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, well, things are a little different. But I tell you what, it has been really, really rewarding. I get to call my own shots, my own hours, no senseless Zoom meetings and meetings on the whim. So it's been great, but at the same time, it's been challenging, especially being a minority business. I heard a stat that a lot of minority businesses don't survive after a year. Most of the reasons is because of capitals. So that's why I love this type of platform that Dr. Kelly III has provided, because knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we grow, the more we can navigate through the obstacles, roadblocks, and hurdles of this thing called business. And we need these great minds to sow into newbies like me. So I admire everybody who takes this platform to share their story. It's not cookie cutter. We all have different stories, different experiences on how we got to where we are and what we're doing to be successful. And I truly believe that if we pass that knowledge and information on to others, that God will reward us. Not that we look for any rewards for him. We thank him for his grace, mercy, and his financial blessings. But I think he loves a person that is a true giver and looks to give rather than receive. And in that receiving part, he always seems to come through. That's been my story in the past 3.5 years. So just to tell you a little bit about JAS Consulting and Entertainment, what my business is really all my 39 years now. August this month marks my 39th year of radio professionally. If I count my college days in radios, in radio, it would be 40 and a half years. I did college radio for 3.5 years, but I really don't count that. I count when I start getting paid. And that was in Greenville, North Carolina, WBZQ, daytime little AM radio station. And the wealth of knowledge and experience that I've gotten from that point in August of 1984 up until now has truly been amazing. I've been the recipient of numerous awards, and that is from the people that sewed into me, and me being really a good student, attentive to the details, and applying the information and knowledge and wisdom that they shared with me. And that's why it's really important with platforms like this that you really take it in. I also learned at an early age not to be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know something, ask. Please, by all means, ask any of the moderators or the people that keynote speakers, people that sew into sharing their information. More than likely, if they're on this platform, they are givers and they want you to succeed. So JAS Consulting and Entertainment is my 39 years of radio all wrapped into one. So I'm doing everything that I've learned in the broadcasting field in those 39 years. Radio, how to be a DJ, a radio announcer, how to be a music director, how to be a program director. When you are a program director of the radio station, you are programming, directing the programming of that station. Everything from the music to the what we call drops and liners, those little voices that say, you know, Favor 97.3, the all-new Favor 97.3, 24/7. The best variety of your inspirational favorites are right here on Favor 97.3. Now I'm voicing those, but there's a person that does that, and we call it imaging. That's all intentional. That's all strategic. What we say and where we place it in the clock, we're managing time. And when I say a clock, what we do is we program and, you know, hour by hour, minute by minute of a 24-hour day. So wherever you hear those little liners and drops, that's intentional. When you hear the music is categorized in different levels, from light rotation to medium rotation to heavy rotation to gold, to 90s gold, 80s gold, 2000s gold. And where those songs are placed when you hear them, which we call a clock in the hour, is intentional and strategic. We learn listeners' listening patterns and habits. There's certain songs that we want to play at a specific time in the hour to hold your attention. So our job is to play hit after hit after hit. Some people call it strong song after strong song after strong song, hoping that we will keep you listening for long durations of time. The way that radio works in terms of ratings, and you always hear ratings where something is rated, is by how long people listen to your station and how many people listen to your station. It's a mathematical calculation of that quarter hour of the 24 hours a day that people listen, and then that determines your overall ratings. So the more people you have listening and the longer period of time that they're listening, then the higher ratings you'll have. Now, there's some formats like the Christian format, Christian music, doesn't have as big of an audience as secular radio has. So how we combat that and neutralize it and equalize the situation is by having people listen longer to the radio station, because that is still calculated. So where a secular station, let's just use for an example, a hip hop and R&B station, well, people have short attention spans in general, but on those stations, usually it's a younger audience, and the younger audience wants to hear whatever the popular song is over and over and over again. So if they don't hear their song, that popular song, let's hypothetically say within 45 minutes, then they're going to go to another station and turn away. Gospel and country stations tend to have smaller audience, but those audiences listen for long periods of time, and they don't want to hear that repetitiveness. So you've got to schedule and cater your music to that audience that listens for long periods of time. So all of that goes back to how intentional the program director, who's in charge of the programming content on that station, strategically schedules and place the music. The commercials, I know most people punch away from those commercials. You're like, I want the music. Commercials pay the bills. All right, so it's a necessity. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. So even where those commercials are played is intentional and strategic, and that's the job of the program director, to strategically place those those commercials where they can maximize the opportunity for the listenership and cut down on the amount of people tuning away. So one of the strategies with programming radio, and I'm going to get into more of my business, but a lot of people, when they hear radio, if they don't understand how intentional it is, and the programming that goes into it, they think, well, you just play music. What it's like a jukebox. But commercial radio is not a jukebox. Every single song has a job to do at whatever capacity it is. Like I said, light, medium, heavy, gold, new gold, 80s gold, 90s gold. It has a job strategically. The audience doesn't know that, but that's what it's intended to do. So as a program director, that's falls on you. That's your job. And either monthly or quarterly, you get a report that shows you how well of a programming job you do. The stations that get the highest ratings, well, generally they get the lion's share of the revenue that is spent in that marketplace for radio advertisement. And it's millions and millions of dollars. And every AM or FM radio station is trying to get their share of those millions of dollars that are being spent. Advertisers want to get a bang for their buck. So they want to advertise on the radio stations that fit their demographic, their target audience, and has the most listeners and the highest ratings. So that's kind of how that does. So what JAS and Consulting and Entertainment does is I help consult radio stations to help them put on the best possible programming possible for their audience, whether it's a streaming internet radio station like mine, Favor 97.3, or what we call a terrestrial station, a station that has antenna, a transmitter. So there's several types of radio. There's your internet streaming, there's your terrestrial AM, FM, and then there's satellite radio like Sirius XM as well. So that's a part of my business. Also, a part of my business is helping artists to get airplay. Now, before I launch my own business, I would just give artists advice, best practices, things to do to help them position themselves to be in a good position to get radio airplay, because it's very competitive. I mean, radio stations literally get thousands of songs with people asking for airplay, but they can't play all of those songs. So they're going to pick the very best of those songs. So a part of my company is consulting artists how to get airplay or the best practices. And that's one of the things that I want to touch on in a minute here. Another part of my business is to put on special events, concerts, workshops. During my journey, in the past 39 years, I've helped to coordinate, to create events And it's been a blessing. I was the talent coordinator for the Radio One Love Gospel Cruise, which was so much fun, having the biggest acts, gospel acts in the country participated. That BB, CeCe Winans, Israel Houghton, Kirk Franklin, Hezekiah Walker, Marvin Sapp, the Clark sisters. The list goes on and on and on. Just Pastor Shirley Caesar, every major artist, the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Those are some that come to mind. Lecrae, Andy Mineo, Jay Moss, Kiera Sheard, everybody in the industry was on that One Love cruise. So part of my business is booking talent for people's special event, concert. Also, I was the Radio One content coordinator for all of their radio programming, but also I was the talent coordinator for their family comedy tour, booking acts. So this past February, I put on my very first comedy show under the umbrella of my company. I was supposed to do that in 2020, but because of COVID, I had to keep pushing it back. And so I put on my very first comedy show. It was a huge success, a sellout. I'm looking forward to doing more comedy shows, but I book comedians for other people as well. So the main thing is consulting, radio, helping artists to get airplay, and coordinating and putting on special events. But today I wanted to touch on airplay, and I hope that I put out on my social media platforms that I would be on the Black Business Expo USA, encouraging people to sow into our youth and make a donation for these bright young men and women. People sowed into me and my education, my knowledge, wisdom, and expertise and experience. And it's really important to me that we all do that to these young men and women. We all hear about the bad things that our youth get into, but I believe that they're all bright minds. They were all put here for a reason, a purpose. God chose them, gave them life. He knew that they were going to be here before their mom and dad ever thought that they would consume them. So let's just help them along the way with their journey to be whatever it is that God put them here. So I just encourage you to sow into the scholarship that this platform is providing for our young men and women. But I put on my social media the word that I was going to be speaking today, and any independent artist out there trying to make it in the music industry needs to tune in today and listen to this information. So the main thing that I want to say, well, there's a bunch of them, but no matter what, the bottom line boils down to how good your music is, okay? The production quality, the vocals, and the message. Most songs have a really positive message that we all can relate to. But the X factor is the quality of the production. The quality of the production and the vocals. I could have somebody produce an amazing track for me that is fire, blazing hot, but I can't sing. So chances are, no matter how hot that track is, with my vocals, what comes out of these two lips is not going to make it. Okay. Someone could have an incredible voice. They could be amazing, but the track and the production is horrible. Well, guess what? That song is not being played. It's sad for me to say this, especially in gospel music, that the message is not what the program directors and music directors pay attention to. Whatever comes out of those speakers to their audience is a reflection of that station. If good production, good vocals come out of that speaker, then that station during that song is a great produced sounding station. If they play terrible music, then that station is a terrible station for as long as that song lasts. So I just want to make sure, because a lot of time people will skimp on the production. They try to get it on the low, the cheap. They compromise the production hoping to get it played on the radio and make millions of dollars. Well, you're going to waste money by skimping on the production. Find really good producers that have a great track record. Just ask them a simple question. Who have you worked with and how well did they do? Tell me about your highest charting client. What song did the best that you've produced? And that'll tell you a whole lot about what you're about to invest, because you're investing and you want to get a return on your investment. So I'm going to just go through a few notes here. All right. Getting radio airplay and best practices 101. Get to know the program director or the music director. Okay. Get to know them on a personal level, because they are the gatekeepers between you and the airwaves. They're the ones who are going to evaluate your music, and they're going to either simply say yay or nay. Okay. It's easier to get airplay if you have a rapport and a relationship with them. So when I say get to know them, are they married or are they single? What is their favorite sports team, college or pros? Did they go to an HBCU? Just try to find things that are common. My daughter, when she was young, I started her in Taekwondo when she was 4 years old. One of the radio promoters, that's what I am when I help my clients to get radio airplay. He was just asking me questions. I said, yeah, my daughter had a rough day at Taekwondo. Oh, wow. My son is in Taekwondo, and they happen to be the same age. So whenever he would call up about music, it wasn't always just about the song. It was, man, how's your daughter doing in Taekwondo? Man, she kicked somebody's butt. Man, I was so proud of her. He tell me a little something about his son. And so we were developing a relationship and a rapport of more than music, because a program director, and I do it. I call radio stations every single day on behalf of my clients, begging them for airplay. I tell people I'm a professional beggar. I'm fighting for my clients to help them to get radio airplay, along with other radio promotions people doing the same thing on behalf of their clients. So find out more about them and what their interests are outside of music. This is really key, is find out what day and time, or days and times, that they take their music calls. Believe it or not, radio programmers and music directors have other job duties during the week. So what they do intentionally is pick a day or days, time or times that they take calls. Do not ever call them outside of those days, because outside of the days that they take the calls, they're in other meetings. They may have a sales meeting. They may have a promotions meeting coming up, a promotion meeting to talk about the big concert event that's coming up, or the expo that's coming up, or the back to school event coming up, or the end of grade promotion that they're doing. So they always have something. They may have meetings with the DJs to help improve their on-air presentation. So it's important that you just call on days that they take those music calls, because if you call outside of that window, you're making things difficult for yourself. And I was that way. I would get calls sometimes when I'm in a department head meeting, and my general manager and the other managers would be looking at me like, really, Jerry? People are calling you during our meeting time, and it's embarrassing. So that's why you've got to be disciplined to call them on their music call days. They're bombarded throughout the week. They also could be scheduling their music, a whole lot of things. Okay. So what happens when you call a music director or a program director on a non-call day? Like I said, they're not really happy about that. So you want to avoid that by any means. necessary. All right. So when you call the program director about your particular song, you happen to call them on the right day. All right. Well, let me back up. So the first time that you call, obviously they know you don't know what days and times they take calls. So they will be more than happy to say, well, I don't take calls on a Monday at 3:30, but I do take calls on Tuesdays between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. That's just an example. So feel free to call me on Tuesdays during that window. So they'll give you a pass on the first time because they know you don't know that. Okay. But once they know you know that, don't ever call them outside of that window. Okay. So I wanted to share with you. Okay. So they're getting bombarded with hundreds of songs that are trying to get on their playlist, and there's only a limited amount of space. It's not infinite. A lot of people don't know this, but top 30 really means top 30 current songs on a radio station's playlist. Doesn't mean they're 30 best songs, because gold songs, and I'll give an example like Kirk Franklin, Why We Sing. That song is always one of the top research songs on a radio station, but that's not their top 30. That just means it's very popular. Top 30 or top 40 means current music. So that number in theory never goes to 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. It stays at 40. Or if it's 30, it never goes to 31, 2, 3, 4, 5. It stays at 30. So whenever a song goes in, if it's top 30, that means something's got to come out. They got to make an adjustment. If 3 songs go in, then 3 songs have to come out, because it's a mathematical calculation of how those top 30 songs rotate in a 24-hour time span. So your light rotated songs, in theory, should rotate maybe 2 times a day, 14 times a week. A medium song could be 3 times a day, all right, 21 times a week. And a power song, could be 5 times a day, 35 times a week or more. Everybody has their own different calculation, but that's the significance of top 30 and top 40. So those in theory are your newer songs. We call them current songs. So when anything goes in, something's got to go out, because that number should never go above 30, never go above 40, or never go below 30, or never go below 40. It's constant at 30 or 40. So you're competing with hundreds of songs nationwide to get a slot in the current music category, one of those 30 or one of those 40. So why should they play yours among the hundreds, or if not thousands, of songs that are coming in? Just because you did a CD, put it on an MP3 file and send it to them, that doesn't mean they're going to play it. Now, understand, I told you the program director is in charge of the programming content on that radio station, and he or she is evaluated once a month or quarterly. Some stations they get their data weekly, so every single week. So their job is to get good ratings, put a solid program on the radio, solid content, good sounding station, so that a department that nobody even is aware of can have good ratings to get sales for that station. There's a sales department at every radio station, and their job is to go out and sell the airtime. That's the product on radio, air, to car dealerships, furniture stores, restaurants, churches, clubs, you name it, to put the word out about their products, goods, services, their businesses. All right. So the program director's job is to put the best sounding music on that station, the best content, to try to get high ratings so those salespeople can confidently go to businesses and say, hey, these are our numbers. Your business would benefit from advertising on our airwaves. All right. So you've got to, if you're trying to get commercial airplay, you've got to think like Kirk Franklin, B.B. Winans, C.C. Winans, Fred Hammond, all of them. You've got to think like you are a top recording artist, and you've got to back that up with your music. If your music sounds like a karaoke, chances are you're not going to get airplay. If you only put a few $100s in your promotional production budget, it's not going to work. Okay, because you're competing with folks that put thousands of dollars into making sure that the music is crisp and clean and CD quality, and that they have the right background vocalists, and that their vocals are tight. I know it may seem very simple, but everything is intentional, especially with commercial radio. So production quality, making sure that your background vocals, your lead vocals are good, making sure that your song is radio friendly. When I say radio friendly, radio right now likes songs that are 4 minutes or less. If your song is 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, chances are you're not going to get airplayed. Why? Because they are trying to squeeze as many songs in an hour as possible. They're already going to give the sales team 15 minutes worth of commercials. Usually it's broken up into 2 commercial stop sets, 7.5 minutes here, 7.5 minutes over here. Or it could be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, if they break it up into 3 commercial breaks. Most radio programmers like me like to do it in 2, so that we don't interrupt the music, because we know the listeners are tuning in for the music. So if you have a 6-minute song, a program director in their head saying, that's a song and a half. I'm not playing that song. I'm going to play this one 3.5 minutes, because I can get more of those 3.5 and under 4-minute songs in this hour to give the perception that I'm playing a lot of music than I can with all these 6 and 5-minute songs. So you have to know that as well. Another thing that I share with artists often is take advantage of opportunities, make the sacrifice to be a part of a station event. A lot of stations do outdoor festivals. They do things for their listeners that are promotional. Some of these events people do have to pay to get into, but you're looking to get a foot in the door and develop a relationship with the program director, and they can see and evaluate you up live and in personal. I have a client who participated in a back to school event, and she got a gig. The pastor was blown away with her singing and said, hey, Jerry, she came to do this promotionally to bless the kids for back to school, but I want to bring her back to my church to perform. Well, the same thing happens with radio. Radio people are like programmers and music directors. They're like, did you see that person and how the crowd reacted to them? Oh my God, I like the music. You need something to create separation from you and all those other songs that come to the program director's desk. So I always encourage people to do promotional dates, do promotional events, to develop a rapport and a relationship with the music director and mainly the program director. Now, in terms of, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me. So the music director's job is to listen to music and make recommendations to the program director. Protocol, that's it, proper protocol, to make recommendations to the program director, who makes all the decisions. But the music director weighs heavily and very influential in the program director's decision-making process. but know that the program director ultimately calls the shot on if the song will be added to the station's playlist, meaning it'll get played on the station or not. So it's vital that you develop not only a relationship with the music director, but the program director as well. But if you have a great relationship with the music director and not such a great relationship with the program director, you're still in a good place, because as I mentioned, that music director is very influential with the program director. And if that music director will go to bat for you, then chances are that program director will follow their lead. Okay. So these are just some of the practices that I encourage you to do in terms of helping you to get your foot in the door and possibly getting airplay. You know, being new and independent is more of a challenge than if you are an established recording artist. I reeled off a bunch of names earlier. And thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to sow into the young men and women in the scholarship program provided by this amazing platform, Dr. Kelly III, Eric Kelly III, and the Black Business Expo Olympics USA. That's really what this is all about. So I just encourage you to make a donation to help out these young men and women. But I want to name some names of some artists that I played their first song not knowing anything about them. Pastor Charles Jenkins. His song was called Awesome. Saw him perform at the Stellar Awards pre-show, and I said, that song is great. My listeners will love that song. I got back from Vegas, played it on the song. I asked the listeners to give their opinion on it, and they said they loved it. We played it. #1 song. Didn't know him. He wasn't a BBCC Winans, Kirk Franklin, Yolanda Adams. Pastor Charles Jenkins. He's a household name now. Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Break.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. My time is up. Well, let me just say this. Thank you again for the opportunity to share. And I hope that these independent artists took notes. You can always reach me at jerrysmith03.com. That's my website. And my email address and phone number is there, jerrysmith03.com. Dr. Wise, thank you very much for this opportunity. Dr. Kelly, thank you for the opportunity. And please, again, sow into these young men and women.
Thank you.
Kelly told me that I run my mouth. Jerry, you just get on a roll. I just love it. But I love God, I love people, and I love our young men and women. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Jerry Smith, for tuning in today.
You're welcome.
Because we know that genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Amen.
The Black Business Expo mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneur. The expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or you can use Cash App $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops up to $5,000 to 10 students, and students may also register on www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also would like to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for August 2023. NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lutis Rouche Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS Associates, Margie McLean Foundation, Inc., Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Milani Shania Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studio, Lee Entertainment, Artistry App Design, All New Beginnings LLC, and Black Business Expo USA. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Did you know that approximately 333.34 million businesses exist today, according to a report from 2021? And you may be one of those businesses, or maybe you're not in the business market yet, but you're aspiring to be a business owner. Well, guess what? You're in the right place at the right time. Because let's face it, everything is about timing and opportunity. Hi, my name is Dr. Lotus Richey, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Lotus Richey Coaching and Consulting LLC, along with the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. 15 minutes of success with Dr. Lotus Richey, as well as books to boom your business and bring who you are. And today, I want to bring this amazing message to you about the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. See, the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics is designed to help people just like you, that's right, that look like me, to take their business to the next level. Not just in your front yard or your backyard, but globally. The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics is designed not to just help you survive, but to help you thrive. So join us today as we come together with businesses all around the world to support our students, our children, our young teens, our young entrepreneurs. What we do is we come together to help raise funds for students who are aspiring to be business entrepreneurs, who are aspiring and who are thriving in college. We endow them with a wonderful opportunity to gain scholarship of either a laptop or several thousands of dollars. And we invite you to help be a contributor to this amazing opportunity to help someone that looks just like you. So join us today at our website and let us connect with you and help you ignite and take flight in every area of your life on the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. I'll see you on the other side.